the Breslin Center on the campus of Michigan State University, East Lansing, Michigan, on the Big Ten Network, as Tom Izzo and his Spartans welcome in from the Missouri Valley Conference, Jim Les and the Bradley Braves. Hi, everybody. Great to see you. Welcome to the Breslin Center. I'm Michael Reg. I leave it to Tom Izzo to find some hidden gems from that 35-point loss to North Carolina the other night as I bring in my partner, the former Ohio State Buckeye All-American, Jim Jackson. Jim, for Tom Izzo, it's all about toughness and getting back to basics today for his Spartans of Michigan State.
Well, it is, and what Tom Izzo wants from his team, get back to being aggressive. Aggressive meaning when you're coming off the screen for the shot, look to shoot the basketball. On defense, pressure up, get up into the guy's chest, make them make decisions and turn over the basketball.
But Jimmy, we know youth shall be served by the Spartan basketball team, and then young freshman Delvon Rowe out of Cleveland and Kalen Lucas, the sophomore. These are two young men that Izzo counts on to have their games go through the roof.
Well, if you look at it, Delvon Rowe coming off a knee surgery, but has the great opportunity to come in and put an imprint on himself and on this game. Very athletic, works extremely hard. Not expecting a lot because he still has to grow, but at the same time, he can give you something. When you talk about Kalen Lucas, he was touted as coming in, being one of the top point guards of this league. His mental preparation coming off that game against North Carolina is going to be the key to how the Michigan State Spartans rebound for the rest of the season.
This afternoon, it's the Bradley Braves. Don't sleep on this basketball team now. Jim Les has developed a terrific program in the Missouri Valley Conference, and in their sophomore captain lead guard, Sam Maniscalco. Jim, this is a true extension of Les out on the floor. He's the floor general of Bradley's ball club.
Well, you need a floor general, a guy that's going to lead his team, get his players in the right position, but this Bradley team is going to spread you out. They're going to shoot three-pointers. They're going to make you guard the perimeter. So the key today, can the Spartans take away that three-point shot?
Tom Izzo's counting on that being a defensive mantra today. How does Michigan State respond after the loss to North Carolina? We'll get it rolling with Bradley in the Breslin Center coming up next.
You're in great shape. Look at yourself. Kick back in your recliner with the chips, the dips, the cheese doodles, those tiny hot dog things.
You have to stay hungry because you're not just a fan.
You're a Big Ten fan. No bathroom breaks, no walking the dog, and leave it all on the couch.
But never, ever, ever leave the couch. Ever.
Because this is our house.
Well, technically it's your house, but you get the idea.
Saturday, 5 games take center stage on the Big Ten Network. First, the Buckeyes face a tough test when they host Butler. Then, Etuan Moore and the Boilermakers battle Indiana State. Manny Harris leads the Wolverines against Eastern Michigan. Raymar Morgan and the Spartans take on Alcorn State. And Marcus Landry and the Badgers throw down with Green Bay. It all starts with the Big Ten Tip-Off Show, Saturday in high def, only on the Big Ten Network.
Every week, relive the drama on the Big Ten's greatest games. It's all here. The legendary stars, the incredible slams, the amazing performances, and the unforgettable finishes. Catch all the great action, the Big Ten's greatest games, only on the Big Ten Network. Tonight, don't miss the Big Ten Tonight Bowl Selection Special. Find out when and where your team will be playing. Plus, our experts break down every Big Ten Bowl matchup. Tonight, only on the Big Ten Network. Stay connected all the time with Big Ten Network podcasts. Get exclusive access to the entire conference with a unique podcast devoted to all 11 universities. And with fresh daily and weekly updates, there's always something new. Download today at BigTenNetwork.com or through iTunes.
The non-conference series between Michigan State, 12th ranked in the land, and the Bradley Braves continues. This is the third go-around. This one inside the Breslin Center. Let's say hi to the third member of our telecast team, Lisa Byington, as she had a moment to chat with Michigan State's Tom Izzo. Lisa?
Thanks, Michael. Tom, coming off the North Carolina loss, what do you want to see immediately from your team right out of the gates tonight?
Well, I'd like to see us take care of the basketball would be the first thing. You know, I think a lot of the things we had problems with there started with taking care of the basketball. Defensively, I didn't think we've been as strong this year as we've been, but I thought we were better in that game. So I guess that would be number one.
Goran Suton out with a knee injury. You don't have Marquise Gray in the starting lineup. You have Delvon Rowe for the first time at center. How capable is he at the 5 spot?
Well, he's really not a 5-man, but he's a 4-man, and we're playing with 2 forwards and 3 guards today. But, Delvon's rotated in there. Raymar can play there. It's a matter of guarding people that we have to guard and get more on our offense. I'm more worried about whether we get the ball into Delvon and Raymar on the other end.
All right, the rotation game continues. Thanks, Tom. Back to you, Michael.
All right, Lisa, we appreciate that. All right, let's take a look at how Michigan State goes today. Starting lineup being brought to you by Sure Start Herbicide from Dow AgroSciences. Let us check in with the senior from Lima, Ohio. Here's Michigan State's Travis Walton.
Starting today for the Michigan State Spartans at 1, Kalen, Too Easy, Lucas. At the 2 guard, Chris, X-Man Allen. At the 3, Raymar, Lil Bill Morgan. At the 4, Delvon, rebounding machine Rowe. And at the 5, me, a hard-nosed defender, Travis Walton.
Yeah, I got to stick that hard-nosed defender in there for Tom Izzo to make him real happy. And Jim Les played for Dick Versace as a Bradley Brave, one of the sweetest shooters in Missouri Valley Conference history. Dodie Dunson leading this ball club in scoring. Keep an eye on Theron Wilson and Sammy Maniscalco. These are the 3. And Jim mentioned to you that Jim Les, a proficient 3-point shooter in his day, loves to shoot the 3 that they go to. Paul Jansen, Steve Olson, John Higgins, the gentlemen that blow the whistles today. So we're on go. Chilly on the outside will warm you up on the inside of the Breslin Center. Jackson 5. Go, Jim Jackson.
To 3 or not to 3. Right now, since the loss of Drew Knight, Michigan State has not been shooting the 3 very well. So we're going to look for that tonight as one of the keys to how they spread this Bradley defense out a little bit.
Bradley, a ball club that graduated their 2 top scorers from a season ago. Theron Wilson being checked by Raymar Morgan.
One of the things you want to look for, too, is the body language of this Michigan State Spartan team early in this game. Coming off that tough loss against North Carolina, there's ways you can let down. But right now, against this Bradley team, they better be careful and come out here and play aggressive early.
Chris Roberts too strong on that deep 3. Caleb Lucas took very good care of the basketball against North Carolina. No surprise, Jim, he's got a 5-to-1 assist-turnover ratio. I like how strong he is with the rock.
Well, I like Caleb Lucas, but I think in the North Carolina game, as you can see, a great shot by Chris Allen coming off the screen. He could have put more pressure on Ty Lawson to guard him in the half-court situation. Make Carolina play defense, and I'm looking to see tonight if Caden Lucas will put pressure on this Bradley defense.
Success early, it'll bring a smile to Tom Izzo. He said, come off screens and ready to deliver.
Shoot.
Chris Allen did it.
One thing you don't have to do is tell Chris Allen to be aggressive looking for a shot. So I don't think we have to worry about that tonight.
I seem to remember never was a problem with Jim Jackson either.
Excuse me? I don't know what you're talking about.
Theron Wilson got fouled. Let's go back to the Jackson 5 and let Jimmy break this down for you.
Well, Raymar Morgan, which one is going to show up? He averaged 16.5, 0.7 rebounds against 2 games against Bradley. Is that the Raymar we're going to see tonight? Mental mindset, being ready to play tonight after a tough loss. Now we're talking about Bradley heating it up. They've been shooting over the last few games. 51% from the field, 51% from the three-point line, and averaging 80 points a game. Can they continue to do that tonight? And also keep the turnovers to a minimum. They can't allow Michigan State to get out and run.
A back-to-back threes. Chris Roberts splashed down at the Bradley end, and then Chris Allen answers the call. Allen's got 5 as he's pure on his first pair of jumpers tonight.
Well, I like to see that. I like to see Chris come out aggressive. Right now, they don't have that aggressive score like they had last year with Drew Neinso, and he's an outside threat, which in turn opens up the driving lanes and inside post for the Spartans.
That's a 7-footer. David Collins, a young man out of Toronto that drops that short jumper. Oh, look at Kalen Lucas. Isn't that special?
Well, that's the Kalen Lucas that we expected to see last game, and that's the Kalen Lucas I think that Tom Izzo is going to stress to continue to come each and every game. The question is going to be inside with Delvon Rowe guarding a bigger man. Can he keep him off the boards and not allow offensive rebounds to take place like right now with a great pass down low?
David Collins on that throwdown. Sam Maniscalco found him after Kalen Lucas broke down the Bradley D. Travis Walton's jumper drew the underside of the rim. Well, Bradley with 3 excellent possessions their last 3 trips. Maniscalco could do that to you. Theron Wilson too firm on that rainbow three.
Well, what you're going to see with this Bradley offense, with the spread motion offense, they're going to spread you out, make you guard the perimeter, which opens up driving lanes. So it's going to be very critical for Michigan State to tighten it up a little bit and force Bradley to make plays. You can't give up drives on the baseline like that.
That's Dodie Dunson, who went strong on that baseline and finished off glass. Dunson has led this ball club in 4 of the last 6. Dunson averaging 13-7 a game. Has kind of had a circuitous career. Signed with Illinois State, wound up at Iowa State, then Vincennes. Now finds his way back here to Jim Less's program. That's going to be a timeline violation to give the basketball back to Bradley, although this Michigan State crowd at Tom Izzo don't believe it.
You know, the ball was tipped by Bradley, went off of off of Travis Walton, I believe it was, off his body. And now they're saying that Travis may have touched the ball. Right now, we don't know. It's a tough call on the referee side.
So Bradley by a pair, and flying high around that rack is Chris Roberts. He threw that down strong. Roberts now with 5, and the lead is for Bradley bumped up to 4 now at 11-7. Now Corey Lucius on the floor now for Michigan State for Tom Izzo. Travis Walton, baseline strong to finish off glass.
You know, after talking to Mark Montgomery earlier, one of the things he stressed by going to the smarter lineup, 1, better pressure on defense, but 2, opening up the court a little bit more for driving lanes and getting scoring opportunities. And right now in the defensive end of the court, what Michigan State wanted to stay away from was allowing this Bradley team to heat up early on. You got to match up to your man and know to take away that three-point shot and make him put it on the floor and go to the basket.
Theron Wilson dropped that triple, and now the Michigan State 3 missed by Corey Lucius. Lucius, 5'11" freshman out of Pius X High School in the city of Milwaukee. Delvin Rowe came out to help. Lucius will solo. Now bring the Spartans back to within 3.
Well, that turnover was caused by great defensive pressure by Rowe, stepping out on that screen, forcing the Bradley ball handlers to try to cut inside, which then he turned the basketball over. That's called hedging a screen.
That's Theron Wilson trying to slash his way by Michigan State's Darrell Summers. So we've been going up and down 94 feet here. Bradley, we told you they have the ability to shoot the 3 and fly high around the rim. Bradley with the early lead.
Whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
Made from fresh tomatoes living happily together with spicy green chilies. The bold flavor of Rotel gives your queso a kick. Spice things up with Rotel.
On the next Illinois Football, The Journey.
It's our job is to get these guys to play the way they're capable of playing, but we didn't do it. I'm not going to go back.
It's the Red Tag Sale event at Sullivan Park Hill. Their lenders have the money to put you in a new vehicle today. Save $4,000 on the 5-star frontal crash safety rated 09 Impala, just $19,990. Save $3,600 on the 09 Malibu from $17,990. At Sullivan Park Hill's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and you could spend less on a new vehicle than it costs to maintain the one you're driving. It's the Red Tag event like no other.
Sullivan Park Hill, let's drive!
Is your home ready for a new look? You have a vision. You want quality at reasonable prices and someone to help you along the way. At Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola, browse through over 30,000 square feet of superior brand name furniture. While wandering through our incredible selection, you'll discover bedroom and dining sets from Ashley, Lane, or Broyhill, bedding from Bemco, Mohawk carpets, and a whole lot more. Start furnishing your home with the help of Kelsey Furniture on Main Street in Tuscola, where you'll find quality for less.
That national championship.
The Big Ten Women's Show only on the Big Ten Network.
Big Ten Network basketball on this chilly Sunday in mid-Michigan, being brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. Make sure you keep the wheels turning. And we told you we'd heat you up on the inside with what's going on in this 94 feet as we go up and down. Michael Regai alongside former Ohio State Buckeye All-American Jim Jackson, Lisa Byington, Jim Less's ball club. They shoot the three very proficiently. This guy shot the three great in a 7-year NBA career, Jim, with the Sacramento Kings.
Well, not only in the NBA, but think about it. He played at Bradley.
Yep.
He was 1986 Mid-Valley Conference Player of the Year. Played at Cleveland State, for a shooter.
Yep.
He set the freshman single-season assist record. So this guy can play. So when you see these young men shooting three-pointers, this is the reason why.
Yep.
It's a background to this, and Jim Less loves to put it up.
He's turned this ball club loose. On the floor right now is Edwin McCain. That deep three is right there from Dodie Dunson, ripping cord as he came off the screen to bump this Bradley lead up to 6. It's their largest lead of the night. Dunson's got 5.
Well, I think right now, if you look at this Spartan team, Izzo cannot be too happy right now, because if they're going to shoot threes, they're going to shoot threes with a contested shot, as Darrell Summers hits a three. But giving up easy drives to the basket, backdoor, things like that, Michigan State is not accustomed to doing, and that's the part of the game defensively that Izzo wants to correct and get his team better focused on.
And Darrell Summers answered with that triple hit of his own. So offensively, both ball clubs getting great looks and converting at a strong rate, although Dunson missed that. This is Darrell Summers, and that's an offensive foul. Taking that charge for Bradley was Edwin McCain, the 5'11" freshman, as Summers tried to be aggressive, Jim, and attack the bucket.
Well, he tried to attack the bucket, but you got to understand, sometimes on a fast break opportunity, look at what you have. You have Caden Lucas on the other side of the lane. Make that little drop pass and make it commit to the basketball.
So Darrell Summers with his second personal foul. Let's check in quickly with Lisa Byington. Lisa was with Tom Izzo a moment ago during the timeout.
Michael, it was almost like Jim was listening in with me. Tom Izzo expressing his dislike for the perimeter defense, really challenging his wings, telling them to contest those three-point shots. He said that his perimeter defense has been the Achilles heel of this team all season long, and he's trying to hold his wings especially accountable, Michael.
Yeah, Lisa, that's exactly what Tom Izzo and the coaching staff discussed with us. Shot clock at 5. Theron Wilson didn't finish as he tried to turn the corner to the rim.
Well, the premise behind starting Lucas, Allen, and also Walton was to pick up on the perimeter. You know, as Lucius hits the three-pointer, but it was to pick up perimeter defense, put pressure on the other teams, and right here again, not communicating with who you have on the court. They may have missed a shot, but the bad part about it, they got another open opportunity.
Dodie Dunson off that missed three. Kalen Lucas had it partially rejected by Sam Singh as Marquise Gray, the senior out of Beecher High School in Flint, on the floor now. As Michigan State continues to kind of get after it on that offensive glass, but that's a trademark of Tom Izzo basketball.
Well, it is, and it's a great drive by Caden Lucas. But right now, when you're out of sorts sometimes, the play you just saw with Gray and Lucas kind of going after the ball together, those things kind of happen right now when you're trying to feel your way and get your rhythm back. And that's why you see shuffling of the lineup by Tom Izzo right now. He's trying to get a sense of where his team was at, what combinations work and what combinations don't.
And that's something that, you know, as you build, they got a date with Texas down in Houston. And then, of course, on New Year's Eve, have to go see Tubby Smith. Got to go to go for Tubby's 8-0, Jim.
Hey, Minnesota right now is in my top 4 or 5 teams in the Big Ten that can compete right now. So it's not going to be easy to go into Minnesota and get a game, I can tell you that.
I see Michigan State trying to go way upstairs to Raymar Morgan as that pass from Chris Allen didn't connect. You know, with Tom Izzo, it's all about, go be expressive, but let's make sure we execute, huh?
Well, these are the type of plays right now as a team when you're trying to establish something you got to think about. If he's wide open, throw that alley-oop over the top. But if not, we can't take chances right now because we're trying to find our rhythm. And right now, that's not one of those plays that you want to make.
Sam Singh on the floor wears number 54 for Bradley, the 6'9" senior man in the middle. Even at 17 apiece as Bradley turns it back over. Jim Less's ball club a little bit short-handed as they do not have Andrew Warren, their leading returning scorer. Both ball clubs shooting it from long range very, very, very well.
Well, I touched on it earlier about Michigan State. What Drew Neitzel was able to do was make teams spread this offense, spread their defense out. Bradley is doing the same thing right now in Michigan State because they have a number of players that can shoot the three, so you have to spread out the court. Allen is the only perimeter guy really for Michigan State that can do that, so they need to have somebody else step up and do it.
Now, Draymond Green, the young freshman out of Saginaw, misfiring on that jumper. Good one going on. Come on back with us inside Breslin on the Big Ten Network.
With unique hand grips to help stop spills, nothing gets in the way of a good time. Solo grips, cups, and plates. Only from Solo.
They desire greatness, demand respect, define success, and let true passion shine through. This is Big Ten Women's Basketball in HD, only on the Big Ten Network.
You're in great shape. Look at yourself. Kick back in your recliner with the chips, the dips, the cheese doodles, those tiny hot dog things.
You have to stay hungry.
Because you're not just a fan, you're a Big Ten fan. No bathroom breaks, no walking the dog, and leave it all on the couch.
But never, ever, ever leave the couch. Ever.
Because this is our house.
It's the Red Tag Sale event at Sullivan Park Hill. Their lenders have the money to put you in a new vehicle today. Save $4,000 on the 5-star frontal crash safety rated 09 Impala, just $19,990. Save $3,600 on the 09 Malibu from $17,990. Add Sullivan Park Hill's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and you could spend less on a new vehicle than it costs to maintain the one you're driving. It's the Red Tag event like no other.
Sullivan Park Hill, let's drive!
Illini fever? Catch it at County Market. Look for the specially marked Illini Fever products and help County Market support the University of Illinois Scholarship Fund. County Market, celebrating 15 years of supporting great student athletes. Illini Fever? We've got it at County Market.
10 men's college hoops. Tomorrow in high def on the Big Ten Network.
All right, Big Ten fans, make sure you get jacked up with our Big Ten Sports Stop. It features live interactive sportscast for every Big Ten game. Here's what you get. You get real-time numbers, all the photos, the chat, and more for all of today's Big Ten hoops action. No other real-time sports experience like it on the web today. Real easy to do. Go to BigTenNetwork.com/SportsStop right now. Putting down the good sounds here inside the Breslin Center to make things warm. There's temperature in the teens up here in mid-Michigan. Hope you're warm and toasty wherever you are as we take a look at Kalen Lucas. Of course, Lucas, a young man that Jimmy, we mentioned, runs this ship for Tom Izzo. Had a terrific freshman year, values the basketball, and maybe got to get him a little bit more involved.
Well, let's look at the lineage of the Michigan State point guard, the Magic Johnson, the Steve Smith, Scott Skiles, recently a Drew Neitzel, all natural leaders on the court.
Don't forget our guy Eric Snow.
Oh, of course, Eric Snow. I mean, for years. But that has been the staple point of this Michigan State team over the years, is their great point guard play. And again, the progression of Kalen Lucas, how he grows, is the direction that this team will also grow in.
Shot clock at 5 now. That is a long-range triple from Bradley's Darian Norris, that freshman who's checked out the floor.
Well, that long-range shot was caused by great half-court defense on the perimeter, not allowing them to get in the gaps and get an easy opportunity.
Chris Allen had a good look at that three, and now Maniscalco wants to push, and he'll raise up. Back-to-back threes for Bradley don't go down. This is a ball club that now at 3 for 8 from three-point range. But as Jim and I have been telling you, they're going to keep launching. And they don't care if it's early in the shot clock either.
That's right. When the last possession defensively, you got to understand, that's a long contested three-point shot. You give that up. If he makes it, he makes it. You pat him on the butt, you run back down the court. But what they were able to do is extend their defense out, make Bradley pass the ball around the perimeter, and take a tough shot at the end of the shot clock.
That's Draymond Green on that Michigan State foul as we get our first look at Taylor Brown. He's a 6'6" freshman. His father, Ricky, played in the NBA about 5 seasons. So Taylor Brown.
Well, I tell you what, if you're a kid that is mid-major talent that wants to put it up and shoot a lot of threes, Bradley is the place for you to go because, Les is going to, be disciplined in your shot. But at the same time, you got a chance to come in here and put them up. And that's what you want to look for. You want to play this style of basketball. And it's a lot of fun to watch. But I don't know about playing against because you got to get out there and guard
exactly.
them. But, it's a great style.
I got another program for you, partner, that you're going to see later this week down at the Horizon League, those Butler Bulldogs.
Was that a great game? You did the game the other day. I mean, a great game, a great ending. That's what college basketball is all about.
Absolutely right. Marquise Gray gave it up. Draymond Green got hit with a walk. Well, Green looked like he was in between, Jim. Thought about it, going up strong, put it on the deck and walk.
Should I shoot it? Should I put it on the ground? Anytime you're in between like that, you're trying to understand the rhythm. You gotta be aggressive in what you're going to do. And that's what Tom Izzo has been talking about.
This is what Jim and I have been discussing with you. Those that hoist the three do it with great regularity and a lot of efficiency as well.
Well, that's the key. You can't just shoot threes to shoot. You have to be proficient and efficient at that. And that's one of Bradley's staple points. You can even take it back to Hershey Hawkins day.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of threes, Sam Maniscalco didn't get that to drop. That's going to be David Collins, who just went over the back of Michigan State's Marquise Gray.
Well, here it is, coming off the screen, pulling up for the three-pointer, leaning a little bit. But again, these are the type of shots that Bradley wants to create because if you're not in position to off the defensive rebound, you can get an offensive putback. Guys are out of position. They're going to put up these shots. You better get used to it and you better block out.
Sure. All the Michigan State students right behind us in the I-Zone, which is, I think, the most boisterous, most creative cheering section in all of college basketball. Got to let the officials have it there. Wave off that Raymar Morgan slash to the hoop. There's the I-Zone, always adorned in their white. A lot of times it's a white out in here. Got finals coming up this week here in East Lansing.
Well, this is the thing I like about the Breslin Center. They keep the students involved. This is what college basketball is all about. Right now, even in the Shotton Senior Center, I love it, but you take the students away.
Yeah.
Here in the Breslin Center, and they're still in Minnesota, you got the students involved, and this is college atmosphere at its best.
Travis Walton's going to go to the free throw line as Marquise Gray made a terrific pass on the interior. As this shot here from our slash camera gives you an idea of the student sections. And there are more than one as they ring this lower level here at the Breslin Center. We had a chance to chat with them as we were getting ready for this one, and always they're into it.
Well, I tell you what, when I played in St. John's Arena, it was the best time because the students were right up on you. They were involved in all the games, and they truly enjoyed it, and they were our sixth men. So you need that in college basketball. So playing in a place like this, especially come mid-January when the Big Ten season is hot and heated, it's a tough place to play.
And it gives you that home court advantage that you got to use to your benefit. Maniscalco turned the corner, but Kalen Lucas and Raymar Morgan combined to pick his pocket. Turnover Bradley. Lucas right now. And a skip pass. Allen with a good look. Can't bang home that three, though.
Even though Allen missed a shot, but it was a great decision by Raymar Morgan. They got it into the post. A double team came. He immediately looked cross-court for open Chris Allen for a three. You'll take that all day.
Well, trying to reverse after that strong drive to the hoop was Chris Roberts. Lucas wants to push Michigan State. Allen to triple. Bang! Chris Allen, maybe the purest stroke, Jim Jackson, on Tom Izzo's basketball squad.
He is, and he's going to shoot. So you never have to worry about telling Chris Allen when you're open to shoot the basketball.
And now it's Jim Les and Bradley that gets his timeout. Allen stepping into it. You like the release, Jim, technically from a shooter standpoint for Chris Allen?
Well, I love the release, and that play was all set up because it was a secondary transition. Kalen Lucas did a great job of penetrating, pushing the ball down the court, now bringing it off of the screen while Bradley was still in transition, which meant they did not match up in the half-court offense. So right now, when you push the ball up the court, you immediately look for an opportunity, and in transition, that's where those open threes can be found at.
Now you saw Raymar Morgan might have had that
tippy-toe
size 14,
tippy-toe,
the heel of the size 14 on the baseline, maybe, and it turns into the Chris Allen three-point deposit at the other end for Michigan State. So the Spartans by 4, Michigan State 4 of 7 from the land of 3, and they come in here at a very solid 37% on the year. Spartans at 4 up at 2 down, and Chris Allen's got a rip away as Corey Lucius bothered that entry pass from Maniscalco.
You know, we talked about the three-point shooting. Without Drew Nigel, they're down right now, only making 4.7 a game, down from 5.7 last year. The attempts are down by 2 also. So you need somebody else to be there besides Chris Allen that can stroke that shot consistently.
Well, Raymar Morgan maybe pushed off with that off arm on Theron Wilson, trying to clear some space. It's check over by that Michigan State bench once again as we welcome in Lisa Byington. Lisa.
Yeah, coaches always have some interesting quirks to counter the opponent. And Jim Les told us this morning that to counter MSU's transition in practice, he added a 6th person to Bradley's offense and put him at midcourt. So when they got the rebound, they just threw it to the 6th guy at midcourt, kind of to simulate the quickness of Kalen Lucas and the speed of that MSU transition and how to counter that.
Yeah, sure, Lisa. Put that extra number out there, right? Make it a little bit harder for your lead guard. That's Donald Collins with that deep jump hook. Jim, that was a couple feet off that block on the right baseline that goes for Collins.
Well, Delvon Rowe played great post defense. He pushed him off the block. That's just a great shot. We used to say great deep, better row, but you want him to take those type of shots instead of layups underneath the basket.
I got a whistle, and it's going to be a push. And on Bradley, that is team foul number 5. Michigan State's Tom Izzo has gotten a lot of production off his bench here in the close to the first 12 minutes of this opening half. But Izzo has, and remember, Jim, it's no Goran Sutan. Now, they're going to miss Sutan, who had the surgery. There's Goran, the outstanding man around the rims that rebounds and provides the toughness for Michigan State. So Izzo's been mixing and matching a little bit. And that's virtually pretty apropos because, I mean, he'll go in terms of what matchup dictates whether it's larger or smaller.
Well, it's like a chess game. And during the course of the season, you're going to have injuries. So that's why, especially at non-conference, you want to see which components of your team work together and which don't. Unfortunately, Sutan is out for the year. But Michigan State right now, tinkering with the lineups, tinkering with players, aren't going to find a rhythm. It's early, it's early, it's early. Let's remember that, Michigan State fans. It's early in the season. So they'll get this ship corrected or ship right going into the Big Ten season.
All right, off that Chris Allen missed jumper. Collins trying to run the floor, and David Collins had it raked away by the highly recruited young freshman out of St. Edward High School in Cleveland, Delvon Rowe. Don't go away. Michigan State's opened up a 4-point advantage when we bring you back to Breslin.
Well, I felt like I needed an extra kick or an extra little boost to get me through, and from what I hear, 5-Hour Energy does the job, so I decided to give it a try. I like the way 5-Hour Energy makes me feel before games. It gives me that edge that I need and keeps me focused throughout the football game. I tell all the players to take 5-Hour Energy. I mean, they see the way it makes me feel, so I think everybody wants that same type of feeling. I am the 5-Hour Energy guru. It's the truth. I mean, I wouldn't be taking it. 5-Hour Energy. I use it. I love it.
Magic Johnson speaks through achievement. Ang Lee speaks with vision. Jane Pauley speaks with integrity. Neil Armstrong spoke of mankind. Find your voice.
Big Ten Tonight Bowl Selection Special. Find out when and where your team will be playing. Plus, Our experts break down every Big Ten Bowl matchup. Tonight, only on the Big Ten Network. Stay connected all the time with Big Ten Network podcasts. Get exclusive access to the entire conference with a unique podcast devoted to all 11 universities. And with fresh daily and weekly updates, there's always something new. Download today at BigTenNetwork.com or through iTunes.
All season long, make sure you see the excitement of Big Ten basketball online. BigTenNetwork.com's live game streaming every week. You get top men's and women's matchups free right on your computer screen. Go to BigTenNetwork.com to see when your school is on next. You know these Michigan State Spartan aficionados will do that. Got to be in the zone if you're going to do it the right way as a Michigan State student here inside the Breslin Center. We're delighted you're a part of it on the Big Ten Network this afternoon with Lisa Byington and Jim Jackson. I'm Michael Regai, our producer Jim Ressler, director Mike Smith, and all the crew. You see Jim Less's ball club's not going to pull the trigger, but they've cooled off at 1 for 7 after they started at 2 for their first 3. They had gone up by as many as a half a dozen, now see themselves down by 4. Maniscalco's got to raise up. And the iron's kind here in the Breslin Center. Sam Maniscalco got in the paint and delivered.
Well, he's been in the paint, most of this afternoon, and that has to be a little frustrating for the Michigan State defense. Yes, they've missed their last a couple of three-pointers, but they've been able to penetrate in the lane. And you want to take those drives away. Force them out on the perimeter, pass around, don't give up driving lanes, so that causes shots with offensive rebound opportunity.
Yeah, sure. Austin Thornton on the floor right now. Green gave it up, and Travis Walton will lace that baseline jumper. Hey, Walton said, I'm a defensive guy. Remember when he introduced himself?
Well, he's knocking
down Jays.
I'll tell you what, if Travis Walton can give you anything on the offensive end, especially shooting jump shot, he adds to it. But understand this, Travis understands his role on this team as a defender and a leader, and that's what he does best. But if he can give you offense, that's great.
Delvon Rowe just made David Collins readjust that.
Well, putting a hand in the face will cause a big man sometimes to shoot a little bit more aggressive than he used to be accustomed to.
Yeah, Austin Thornton with that rainbow 3 that didn't go. Thornton getting some playing time. Sand Lake, Michigan. Young redshirt freshman here. Hit a couple of threes in his collegiate debut against Idaho in a Spartan win. Now, this is Sam Maniscalco, Theron Wilson. Talk about rainbow trade. Somebody close the door in here, Jimmy.
It's a little windy right now inside Breslin Center.
Delvon Rowe, really his first touch down in the block today. And Rowe is going to get a trip to the free throw line. Or did they call that foul on the floor? All right, they called it on the floor on a hold before Rowe was taking it up to the rim.
Well, what's going to be important for Delvon Rowe? Yes, he's playing out of position. He's playing the 5. But in this system, he's still able to make plays. He can run the court, get easy opportunities. What Izzo wants to do is give him more minutes to be on the court. So playing the 5 and playing a smaller lineup does that. That's okay right now for Tom Izzo and the Spartans.
Well, as we spoke to Tom Izzo today at shoot-around, and he told us there's a lot of different ways, he can go. I mean, the same thing with Raymar Morgan. A lot of times we say, well, you talk about different sets, personnel groupings. Well, where's Raymar Morgan? Is he at 3? Is he at the 4? It's going to dictate, in a lot of instances, how Michigan State decides to play. The same with Delvon Rowe.
Well, it will. In today's college basketball game, just like probably, great move inside. Versatility is the key. You're not going to have your traditional centers right now. You're going to have forwards who are playing centers who are versatile enough to go inside and out. And that's what Michigan State is experimenting with right now.
Kalen Lucas missed that jumper after Theron Wilson exploded to the hoop for Bradley with that sweet finish. But that's something Jim Les won't like there. They had numbers. They had a 4-on-2 run out, and Bradley turned the basketball over, had an opportunity to tie, maybe take the lead. Turnover number 5 for the Bradley Braves.
Well, at that particular, I think it was Roberts had the ball. He kind of pounded the ball a little bit too much. When you have an opportunity on the break, look up, get the ball up the court. Pass the basketball. Either you're going to penetrate with the dribble or you're going to give it up. That keeps the Spartans defense spread, and now you have open opportunities in the secondary break. A little bit too much over dribbling on that one.
Now here's Raymar Morgan back with a couple of fouls. Well, Morgan tried to aggressively put it on the deck and go toward the rim. He had it slapped away. It'll stay with Michigan State with 26 on the shot clock for Tom Izzo. Mark Montgomery, Dwayne Stevens, Mike Garland, outstanding coaching staff here in the Michigan State coaching lineage. has been absolutely tremendous, and it goes back to Tom Izzo as an assistant for the master Judd Heathcote.
And, you know, what's ironic is that with Mark and Dwayne, I played against both of them during my college years. They learned under the system. They understand it, and they're going to be in a position, you know, in a few years to become head coaches themselves. And it's great to learn from a coach like Tom Izzo because of the way he approaches the game. And again, his players have a lot of respect for him after the game as well.
No doubt about that. Marquise Gray is going to get hit with that push-off on the offensive glass after Austin Thornton missed the three.
Well, right here, Marquise Gray is big enough. He got to, well, it's always the second guy who gets caught. He got pounded first, but once you extend that arm, the referee is right there in the position to call that foul. What Marquise has to do, he's that little chicken wing. Keep it inside a little bit. Use his hip inside to bump him off the post instead of extending that arm.
You know, it's funny you mentioning that because I always thought you at 6'5", I thought you had all the, that's between the years, you had all the nuances of being an outstanding offensive rebounder, and a lot of it is, you know, how you go about it using your tricks a little bit, right?
Well, yeah, if the referee doesn't see it, it doesn't happen.
I hear you.
And you got to be able to use your tricks inside to get offensive rebounds. And I got some tricks for it, and I may share them with the viewers at home a little bit later.
We might get Jackson on camera. We'll go out there and put on a clinic.
We're doing teaching clinic on how to get inside. But you see right here, Raymar Morgan trying to be aggressive inside. Great block from the backside, you know.
Yeah, Raymar Morgan still trying to get off here in the early go.
Well, the thing that it kind of puzzles me about Raymar, he has all the physical tools to be a 17, 18-point scorer. But sometimes it's in between the ears about being a scorer.
Well, Kalen Lucas gave Chris Allen a great look. There's Raymar Morgan with strength around the rim on the offensive line.
Well, right on time for Raymar. Offensive rebound, didn't think about it, aggressively attacked the basket. Take that mentality every time you come down the court offensively. You have all the tools, and they're going to need somebody with Raymar's talent to start to lead this team offensively. They need a man that they can go to in clutch situations.
Yeah, McCain gave it up, and Darian Norris misfired on the three, but Norris got black like a free safety with closing speed, and that foul is going to go on Michigan State's Marquise Gray. That'll be 2 on Gray. That basketball is one of those 50-50 balls up in the air. Watch Marquise Gray. Contact. Michigan State by 4. Come on back with us in East Lansing.
Whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
Log on to Big10Network.com and register for the Big Ten Superfans program. Sign up and you can win tons of great prizes by watching the Big Ten Network. Show your passion. Become a Big Ten Superfan today.
Take an in-depth look at the Big Ten's brightest female athletes and coaches on the show designed to shine the spotlight on them.
We kind of have the same goal, you know, to win that national championship.
The Big Ten Women's Show, only on the Big Ten Network.
We're all wondering about tomorrow. We have questions. We want answers. Today, more people than ever are turning to the Wall Street Journal. Get critical insight for $2.69 a week, 60% off. Call 800-240-9358 or go to trywsj.com.
So here's a man we've heard so much about, everybody in the country. One in Terrell Pryor, the USA Today's High School Offensive Player of the Year. And welcome to Ohio State and college football. Pryor on the keep. He's inside the 5. Touchdown, Terrell Pryor. Oh, mercy. He just glides through traffic.
Welcome officially to Buckeye Land, Terrell Pryor.
On the next Illinois Football, The Journey.
That's our job, is to get these guys to play the way they're capable of playing. And we didn't do it. I'm not going to go back on what I said before. This is a good football team.
Illinois Football, The Journey. Tuesday at a special time, only on the Big Ten Network.
Michigan State by 4 late stages of this first half. Darian Norris, who wears number 3 for Bradley, just made like a free safety with closing speed on the gridiron.
Well, this is a tough call right here because if we freeze it right here, we can kind of look just like football. The receiver is entitled to the basketball. The defender has to play defense. Right now, both are going after the ball. I think Marquise Gray had the opportunity to go after that ball. Incidental contact, I don't think a foul should have been called on that play.
Jim, a lot of times officials will ask themselves, was it an advantage game? And I think Tom Izzo would say, well, no, there was no advantage game with the basketball in the air and
exactly
2 players going for it.
But I also think he was talking to Chris Allen about decision-making. Right now, you're putting Marquise Gray in a tough situation to catch and finish. So that's why he pulled Chris Allen to the side again, teaching young players about decision-making.
Darian Norris looking to complete the pair from the line and bring Bradley back within a couple. Misfired on that second, but that basketball winds up right back in the hands of Norris. Misfired the 3. He went and got another offensive board.
Well, another offensive rebound. That's 2 on this possession. I do have to correct myself. Goran Sutan will be back with the Michigan State Spartans. He's out 2 to 3 weeks. But this is a prime example of where it hurts them when you don't have a big guy inside the rebound. And right now, again, interior passing. They got the ball inside. They had to foul. So sometimes dribble penetration gets you in trouble, but also a deep penetrating pass can break down the defense as well.
Well, that screen roll, too, and David Collins set that high screen, went straight to the hoop, got the basketball back, and got a trip to the free throw line. 7-footer is this senior. Well, Collins was 6. He'll look for 7 and 8.
Well, Mike, you made a good point, the pick and roll. You know, at the next level, a lot of times you say, why do they run so many pick and rolls? Because it's a communication thing. Are you going to step out on the shooter? Or are you going to go under? The same thing in college. If you don't communicate on the pick and roll, you're going to leave somebody open, and you're going to either get a basket, dribble penetration, or inside score.
Well, Tom Izzo, of course, having to make those kind of decisions as Chris Allen quick triggered that 3.
Yeah, a little quick in the offense right there. I think he could have passed that up and set it up for an easy basket or easier shot.
Dodie Dunson had that 3 rattle out. Another offensive board for Bradley and another trip to the free throw line coming. This time for Dodie Dunson as he got held, but that's in the last 3 possessions. 3 long offensive rebounds off misses for Bradley.
Well, a lot of times it's not the big man either. If you have a small lineup, that means the guards have to come back, be engaged in the defensive rebound, and get those long rebounds. And right now, the Spartan guards have to come in there and grab those rebounds.
Bradley's missed 3 of their last 4 from the free throw line, and Dodie Dunson, their leading scorer, in the absence of Andrew Warren. So Jim Les, who lost Jeremy Crouch and Daniel Ruffin, his 2 outstanding Missouri Valley Conference guards, the tandem a year ago. Between the 2 of them, averaged about 33 points a game. They graduated.
You know, a lot of our viewers at home are going to look at this game and probably look at college basketball and say, how can a Bradley hang with the Michigan State? But over the last few years in college basketball, it's been the trend. A lot of your top players for these schools end up, going to the pros early as Raymar Morgan takes the shot. But these mid-major teams keep guys that are juniors and seniors that have been through the fire. So they're more competitive and will compete against these bigger schools. So that's why we see the upsets. That's why we see the close games now more than we ever did before.
Collins had a chance to put Bradley on top as he missed that jump hook. Look at Kalen Lucas, just exploded around the corner, but did not finish. And now Delvon Rowe is going to get hit for that Michigan State foul as he was crashing the offensive glass.
Well, it's a great penetration. Look at the little screen Raymar Morgan set to allow Kalen Lucas to get to the basket. When you're going through some of the things that the Michigan State Spartans are going through right now, trying to find their identity back, these are the type of plays that you used to make that right now you don't. So if you can live through this storm right now and correct these things, you'll be okay. But this is just something that this team is going through right now.
As we mentioned, Kalen Lucas with that terrific assist-turnover ratio, the sophomore out of Orchard Lake St. Mary, as the problems continue for Jim Les's ball club here at the free throw stripe. They're 4 of 11, and they have missed 5 of their last 6. Make sure you stay tuned for the Advance Auto Parts halftime show. Mike Hall and Tim Doyle in our Big Ten Network studios in Chicago. The analysis of the first half, and also break down Bo Ryan and his Wisconsin Badgers, always a perennial like Michigan State. powerhouse in the Big Ten.
Probably not the prettiest team to watch, but the most effective, and what the kind of talent that they have. Bo Ryan is a great master of understanding how to utilize the kind of guys that he wants in his offense, and they're always going to compete and always be, bidding for a Big Ten championship.
And that Michigan State foul is going to go on Edon Ebok. Ebok just checked in, the 6'11", fifth-year senior from Nigeria.
Well, on this play, too, Ebok may have gotten the screen, but understand, Kalen Lucan has to be a little bit more patient on that screen, allow Ebok to set the screen, then come off. So a lot of times it's not just the big man. No, he didn't. And what Ebok didn't get a chance to do is come and set the screen and establish his position. So that was more Kalen Lucan.
Sure. No, Bradley just returned in kind. They turned it over. Their big man, Sam Singh, trying to make that skip pass and glancing out of bounds. And now with a minute and 59 left in this first half, Tom Izzo says, let's talk, Spartans. After the last couple of possessions for Michigan State, obviously not pleasing to Tom Izzo.
Well, it's not. You're turning the ball over. You're not getting into any kind of rhythm or any kind of flow to establish your dominance. That's why Bradley is hanging around. Now, imagine if Bradley hit their free throws. Even if they start to hit more than half of their free throws, they're leading this game, right now. So, the teaching points that Tom Izzo is trying to press upon his guys. Play smart basketball. Don't give up easy baskets. And you have a chance to win the game. But right now, we're not doing it.
Now, as of last Monday, as we take a look at the coaches poll, and we hone in on the top 13, you see, of course, the pair from the Big Ten, Matt Painter and Etuan Moore and his Purdue Boilermakers. Of course, Michigan State at 12. But, Jim, there have been some losses
right there
this week.
Well, Notre Dame, my guys at Ohio State beat Notre Dame. It was a tough one. Purdue loses to Duke at home. Now, how does that go? You also got Michigan State, who lost. So now these things are going to
Make sure you get John Beilein's win over Duke, man.
Oh, Duke lost twice.
Duke lost Michigan.
Duke lost to Michigan right there. So this position will start to move a little bit as we go into the week.
That's Chris Allen as he sweet strokes that three. Hey, Izzo worked wonders at that time. He got that timeout, and he got Chris Allen a look as he bottomed out that three.
Well, as a coach, you always look smart if you come out of timeout, execute the play, and score off of it.
Dunston turned the corner but didn't finish. Ebok showed up, made him readjust that. And that basketball belongs to Michigan State. As Chris Allen now with 13, Jimmy, to leave everybody.
Well, the reason why he got the open three-pointer, great penetrating pass at the free throw line, made the Bradley defense collapse, which now left Chris Allen open for an open three-point shot, which he was able to knock down.
Against this Bradley zone now. Post up, Edon Ebok. Maybe rusted a little bit.
A little quick on that. Understood he had a smaller man. Just take your time and finish the ball at the basket.
70 seconds left in this first half. Very entertaining first 20 minutes of basketball. Bradley started out very warm, and now Sammy Maniscalco, the sophomore captain, Jim Rat, out of Chicago, turned it over.
Well, great defense by Ebok. What he did was put his body in the way, took away driving position on the baseline, used the baseline as a defender where the Bradley guard had no place to go.
All right, Jim, let's see what Michigan State gets against this rotating 2-3 zone.
What you have to do, it's a tough pass right there, but the objective to get the ball inside, penetrating pass, and then back out is right.
Does it seem to you that Michigan State trying to skip that pass from bottom to top is going too quickly?
It is too quickly. I think you got Travis Walton playing in positions he's not accustomed to. If you had a big man of 4 or 5 that's used to being there, he takes his time, surveys the defense, then kicks it out. So that's the reason why that pass was a little quick.
Now Michigan State by 4 as Maniscalco will orchestrate this Bradley offense. This is Sam Singh against Edon Ebok. Just wildly threw up that jump hook. Michigan State can use it all now if they like. Shot clock off, but Walton will attack that rim and go to the free throw line. Spartans could have used it all, but when you get that secondary break, let's come to it, right?
Well, as a point guard, you want to survey the court and understand what you can and can't get. Right now, you're kind of in between. Travis Walton is a guard going to get some big guys. He is going to the free throw line, but as a point guard, sometimes you might say, let me pull it back out and make sure I get a better shot. But he's going to the free throw line to make 2.
So a good look at the young man from Lima Senior High School. Travis Walton. Walton did a masterful job. Maybe he's got a future. I don't know. I'm going to tell him, hey,
it's an
Travis,
Ohio thing.
Slow down. It's an Ohio
thing.
I hear you. I'm going to tell him slow down about how well, though, he performed at introducing the starting lineups today. He may be taking our jobs,
That's right.
Jim.
That's right.
As Travis Walton will split the pair. This is the largest lead of the afternoon, and it's only 5. As now, Jim Les going to tell his basketball team, put it in the hands of the initiator, Sam Maniscalco, as we hit 10 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, and they'll milk this clock down to try to get a pick and roll, try to get an open shot.
Maniscalco had his pocket pick, 3 seconds left. Kalen Lucas to beat the buzzer. All ball, said the officiating trio. Tom Izzo is livid. As 20 minutes get in the books. Izzo felt Lucas, who exploded and then elevated, should be at the free throw line for his Spartans.
Well, right now, Caden Lucas aware of where the shot clock is at, but not aware of the defender behind him. It looked like it was a pretty good block on that, on the replay right there. Again, I think it was better defense by Bradley on Brown on that, from that standpoint.
All right, let's check in with our Lisa Byington, who has Tom Izzo. Lisa.
Tom, are you giving an explanation on that last play there?
We haven't played well enough, so I shouldn't complain.
You were unhappy with your perimeter defense at the start of the game. Evaluated the last 10 minutes.
Well, the last 10 minutes was a lot better. We made a couple adjustments, but, again, it's just having a lot of new bodies in there that haven't been in there. And what we did with Delvon, it was a little tough on him, and Kalen, for some reason, looks very, very worn out, and I don't know what the reason is, but nobody goes around him. He did a better job, as you said, the last 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Tom. Michael, back to you.
All right, Lisa, we appreciate that. Tom Izzo trying to get his basketball team back on the good side after the loss to North Carolina. Stay tuned. Advanced Auto Parts halftime report. Mike Hall, Tim Doyle, Chicago, next.
They desire greatness, demand respect, define success, and let truth.
12th-ranked Spartans of Michigan State all set to roll here in half number 2 with this 5-point advantage over Bradley. A moment ago, our Lisa Byington had a chance to catch up with Bradley head coach Jim Les. Lisa.
The score sheet doesn't look as good as the score, coach. You're about 21% from the free throw line and 36% from 3. How are you guys still in this game?
Well, the free throw defense was awful good. I think we got to convert on our opportunities. We got to get back in transition. We got some easy baskets. Once we set our defense, we were pretty good.
Sally with 13 points, 3 of which behind the arc. How do you put the clamps on him?
I can't hear you, so I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
Try it again. Chris Allen, 13 points. How do you put the clamps on him?
We got to know where he's at. We went to some zone to save some guys with fouls, and we lost them. We got to find that good shooter in the zone.
We won't do an interview by the band again. Thank you for your time. Back to you.
That's how they roll here in the Breslin Center, as we said, with the strong sounds of music. What do you say we see if the Spartans come out with some strong strength of basketball in the second 20 minutes? We'll check the 10 on the floor for you. Michigan State, Tom Izzo's ball club, starting exactly the way they did in the first half. There's that quick whistle and his first team foul. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Big Ten Conference. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and all the accounts and descriptions of this game here in East Lansing may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference. Going strong to that hoop, Raymar Morgan.
Well, I love the move right there. Very aggressive move. Raymar got possession of the ball, made his mind up. He was taking it directly to the basket, used his shoulder to bump off the defender, and he finished right at the basket. But more importantly, Mike, we need to tell the fans at home about how deep our history is together.
Oh, yeah. A long time history.
Great fast break opportunity. You take advantage of it. You move the basketball. You share the basketball, and you get it easy, too.
Kalen Lucas on the business end of things there. So Michigan State comes out. They got a whistle on that first possession that I know Tom Izzo liked, and then a touch for Raymar Morgan, then a run out as they've opened up their largest lead.
Well, here's that fast break opportunity. Raymar Morgan with the ability to kick it out and push the ball up the court, up to Walton, and then finishes with Kalen Lucas. Passing the ball, but it was created by having great spacing on the court that allowed the easy opportunity.
Yep. Sam Maniscalco to trigger in a minute deep into the second half. Dodie Dunson along with Maniscalco in the backcourt. Chris Roberts, David Collins, Theron Wilson, the 5 on the floor for Bradley. Dunson forced that over the top of Kalen Lucas. And Raymar Morgan got caught in between and turned the basketball over.
Caught in between, but you know, the idea was right. It's his execution has to be better next time.
Now Penn State, who was in the Atlantic 10 in 1982, the last victim now among the 11 in the Big Ten that Bradley's ball club has come away with a win against.
Well, speaking of the 80s, that was back mid-80s when you were covering me back in high school.
That's
right?
exactly right, yeah. Well, you said a relationship goes back
It goes deep, baby.
Jim Jackson, as a freshman in Macomber High School at Toledo, Lucas kind of escaped that baseline, and Kalen Lucas didn't get it to drop.
Well, I think that's the part that Tom Izzo was saying about Kalen looks a little tired. He's been at the rim a couple of times and has not finished. Tough penetrating move right there by Bradley. But going back to Kalen, not finishing at the basket is a result sometimes of tired legs. And Tom is trying to get to the bottom of why Kalen, at this early point of the season, has those kind of tired legs.
Offensive foul for Raymar Morgan. Didn't get it to drop in the hole, but he does have a trip to the free throw line. Canton McKinley High School over in the northeast part of the Buckeye State that's been so good to Michigan State with Eric Snow and Percy Snow on the gridiron.
Well, and now they went and got Raymar Morgan, an aggressive young man who can, again, contend for Player of the Year in the Big Ten if he puts his mind to it. Those are the kind of plays that I want to see Raymar Morgan continue to make because he gives this team a different presence when he's aggressive offensively.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of aggressiveness on the offensive glass. Back in the mid-'80s, I saw young Jim Jackson make for head coach Bart Schroeder at Macomber High School, playing with Myron Bell, who became a Michigan State Spartan.
That's right.
Donnie Dobbs, Ed Colbert.
That's right.
Outstanding. Jimmy, I tell you, nobody did it better than you in the state of Ohio, and he'd be very proud. Distinguished high school career and then an All-American at Ohio State. But I don't know, a fella by the name of LeBron in the state of Ohio.
Yeah,
Jim, I didn't think I'd ever say anybody trumped you, my man. And you know, you're still #1 to me.
Right. Well, you know what? I can't even argue with that because I'd love to see LeBron play right now.
Let's go back to the Jackson 5 as Theron Wilson got in with a travel. Jim, how did you assess this coming in, and what have the first 20 minutes told you?
Well, the first 20 minutes told me they're shooting the ball well from the three-point line. Raymar is starting to pick it up, maybe not in the first half. The mental mindset is still kind of iffy right now in the Michigan State Spartans. They did hold a little bit more defensively to Bradley's team, but they gave up a lot of opportunity. There's Raymar right on cue. Give me what I said in the beginning. Heat it up, Raymar, and play the kind of basketball you used to play.
Michigan State by 10, their largest lead of the afternoon. Jim Less to get that 30-second timeout. Do you think that the halftime conversation from Tom Izzo might have had some counseling attached to it? We'll talk about that when we get back. Michigan State's lead is 10 over Bradley.
Warranties expire. Cars don't. Not with Advance Auto Parts gift cards. So whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
College basketball on the Big Ten Network. Witness a full-court onslaught of excitement as the conference's best put their skills on display. Big Ten Men's College Hoops. Tomorrow in high def on the Big Ten Network.
Take an in-depth look at the Big Ten's brightest female athletes and coaches on the show designed to shine the spotlight on them.
We kind of have the same goal, to win that national championship.
The Big Ten Women's Show, only on the Big Ten Network.
On the next Illinois football, The Journey.
And that is going to run out the clock. And Northwestern has denied Illinois a bowl bid this year.
We didn't get it done, and as I told them, blame the coaches, blame me. I mean, that's our job, is to get these guys to play the way they're capable of playing. We didn't do it. I'm not going to go back on what I said before. This is a good football team.
Illinois football, The Journey, Tuesday at a special time, only on the Big Ten Network.
Bush on the inbounds, the baseball feed. It's caught. Hoffaber for the win.
when I hit the shot, I just kind of ran over and was in disbelief. And then all of my teammates came over and tackled me, and it was pretty fun.
7-2 run to start this second half for Michigan State as Big Ten Network basketball is being brought to you on this Sunday afternoon by Advance Auto Parts. Make sure you keep the wheels turning. Michael Regai alongside former Ohio State Buckeye All-American Jim Jackson and Lisa Byington. I don't know if Tom Izzo made like Santa Claus at halftime, Jim, because I think that the conversation that he had was something that was very, very counseling, educating. His ball club came out with a different demeanor in the second half.
Well, they have to. They have to establish themselves. If you're talking about competing for a Big Ten title and a national championship, right now in the non-conference is where you have to establish yourself.
That's Sam Maniscalco as he went to the rim. Travis Walton the other way. Walton gliding on the baseline for Michigan State's quick deuce.
Well, he got the quick deuce, and sometimes in secondary break in the transition, that's where you can get easy baskets when Bradley or other teams don't get back defensively. And sometimes when you're struggling half court, you need easy baskets like that.
As Sam Singh for Bradley wasn't able to finish. Kalen Lucas, very uncharacteristic there. Got a bit out of control, turned it over. Numbers for Maniscalco. Trying to force that, and that's an offensive foul. That's going to go on Bradley's Chris Roberts. That's 3 on Roberts. He was trying to initiate contact, and he got hit with a charge.
Well, he got hit with a charge, and I thought the point guard gave the ball up a little too early. Even if he gave it up, now it's a give and go. Give it right back to the point guard. Have him finish at the rim. Again, it goes back to decision-making that time. That's 2 points you don't have, and it's a turnover.
Well, speaking of counseling, Jim Les doing some of that with Chris Roberts. He's a JC transfer. This is Raymar Morgan. Well, Morgan trying to spin in that paint and lost his footing. Collins. Marquise Gray, a solid job on the defensive end as he stayed down on Collins.
Boy, great defense, pushed him out a little bit more, made that jump hook a little bit more uncomfortable, and then being right underneath the basket, that extra 1 or 2 feet allowed that shot to come up short. Great defense by Marquise Gray.
Brings that rugged toughness on the interior for Tom Izzo.
That Big Ten basketball, big body inside.
Flintstone. That's why, right?
Flintstones.
That's a continuation of the Flintstones here at Michigan State.
That's like my boy Mateen Clee.
Morris Peterson, Charlie Bell.
That's right. Glenn Rice.
Exactly. Well, Glenn Rice from Michigan Wolverine, though.
Well, but you know, he's from Flint. We're talking about Flint.
That's right. Jeff Grayer.
That's right. A lot of great players.
Raymar Morgan, is he one of the next great players at Michigan State? Morgan working strong around the rim. He's got 7. Spartans by 10.
The next Illinois football, the journey.
It's our job is to get these guys to play the way they're capable of playing. And we didn't do it. I'm not going to go back on what I said before. This is a good football team.
Illinois football, the journey. Tuesday at a special time, only on the Big Ten Network.
Made from fresh tomatoes living happily together with spicy green chilies. The bold flavor of Rotel gives your queso a kick. Spice things up with Rotel.
12.5 remaining. No timeouts left. Indiana by 1. Wisconsin ball. Butch for 3. Banked it in. He banked it in. And Wisconsin has held on.
I told Ryan in the locker room that they discounted it because he didn't call.
Every November, Michigan and Ohio State collide. Now, no matter who you root for, relive the best moments from this classic series with 2 unique DVD sets. Rivalry Series Michigan beats Ohio State, or if you prefer, Rivalry Series Ohio State beats Michigan. Each 3-disc DVD collection features commercial-free complete game original broadcasts of 3 monumental victories by either the Wolverines or Buckeyes. Available now at BigTenNetwork.com or wherever DVDs are sold.
Tonight, don't miss the Big Ten Tonight Bowl Selection Special. Find out when and where your team will be playing. Plus, our experts break down every Big Ten Bowl matchup. Tonight, only on the Big Ten Network. Stay connected all the time with Big Ten Network podcasts. Get exclusive access to the entire conference with a unique podcast devoted to all 11 universities. And with fresh daily and weekly updates, there's always something new. Download today at BigTenNetwork.com or through iTunes.
Let's take a look at our Advanced Auto Parts advance to the championship win-loss records. We mentioned Tubby Smith and his gold at Gophers from Minnesota. Thad Matta, Ohio State Buckeyes. Jim likes that. And whatever job Bruce Weber's doing with Mike Davis, this young man, I really like his game with the fight in the line. Now, not to mention John Beeline in Michigan. With that win over UCLA, win over Duke.
Well, I tell you what, the middle of the pack of this league right now is going to be much more competitive. Going on the road to try to win a game this year, even if you go into Northwestern, it's going to be the struggle. A team that's going to win the Big Ten outright, the title before the tournament, is a team that's going to take care of home, but also go on the road and sneak some games they're not supposed to get.
Well, funny, too, you saw, and again, it's early non-conference games, but the three teams ranked for the Big Ten in the coaches' top 25, Purdue, Michigan State, Wisconsin, all down right now at the bottom with a couple of losses each. And, of course, this dominant program in Michigan State, 11 consecutive NCAA tournaments, fifth longest. Judd Heathcote begat this coaching lineage. But, Jimmy, you look at Tom Izzo, and we mentioned his staff now, but Jim Boylan, Stan Joplin, Stan Heath, Brian Gregory, head coaches all now in their own right that have had excellent success as Bradley comes up with a rip away, and that's Dodie Dunson on that quick hoop after Michigan State turned it over.
Well, I tell you, also, we may add to the list Mark Montgomery at one time. I think he's been here. He's been a staple point. He understands what Izzo wants, but he's going to be a great coach, college coach, I think, one day himself.
Yeah, Jim mentioned Mark Montgomery, Dwayne Stevens, Spartans that he played against.
Well, I think Darrell Summers right now trying to make a move before he had the ball. Great save. Back into play to start the fast break for Bradley. But again, when you're going through, you see these little plays. Why does he not, why does he lose the ball? When you're thinking a lot about what you need to do on the basketball court, those little plays that you normally make, you don't make. And that's some of the mistakes and some of the turnovers that we're seeing right now with Michigan State. Unforced turnovers.
Marquise Gray wanted to find down on the block Draymond Green and threw it away.
Well, another example. The great high-low combination between Gray and Green. A great pass inside, but can't finish the play. Again, thinking about things, not having a natural reaction. We were talking about Delvon Rowe a little bit, more robotic until he gets a chance to feel. That's what I see with this Michigan State Spartan team right now, overthinking every situation.
Well, in the case of Delvon Rowe now, we got to remember there's a little bit of rust on the young man. He's had a couple of surgeries in about an 8-month period. Really hadn't played basketball in almost going on 2 years until he got back this year and missed his whole senior season at St. Ed's. As that's going to be a Michigan State foul on Draymond Green, the 6'6" freshman who's done a solid rebounding job for Tom Izzo. He clipped the 7-footer. David Collins.
Well, here it is. It's deep penetration with the basketball. Once a big guy gets it inside, it's tough to defend it. I mean, you have to take those passes away. But as we go back to Delvon Rowe, the one thing that the coaching staff had talked about was his continual hard work. What that means is if you have a guy that has talent and he works hard, he's going to be fine. So it's a matter of time. And talking to Izzo earlier in the year, he said, listen, it's going to take a while for Delvon Rowe to get back into it. We're not expecting big things right away. But over the course of the year, we'll know where he'll be at, especially going into next year.
Yeah, Tom Izzo said, hey, you know what? It may be, it told us today at shoot-around, it may be a little bit overwhelming. I'm asking him to do, along with Raymar Morgan, a lot of different things. But he said, you know what? Delvon Rowe, excellent passer, understands the game, visualizes the game, just to shake some rust off, get him comfortable in the system, big things will happen.
Well, that's a credit to Delvon being the type of player he is, and like the old adage said, too much is given, much is expected. So he has the talent to produce at that level, and as a top-notch college player, you want that on your shoulders.
Now, Travis Walton not able to handle the basketball. Now, that's 14 turnovers on Michigan State, and that's something that does not please Tom Izzo.
Well, you know, as a coach, you can live with turnovers. If they're turnovers that are aggressive, going towards the basket, trying to make a play. Right now, the Michigan State Spartans are committing turnovers that are unforced, and those are the hardest ones to live with if you're a coach.
Well, that shot clock now will hit 10, as this is Theron Wilson. Off the spin. Oh, Wilson had to readjust that. Terrific D by Raymar Morgan.
It was terrific D by Raymar, but the Bradley offensive player had no place to go because of the great defense team defense by the Michigan State Spartans. They took away all their driving lanes.
Count that. And one coming from Darrell Summers. Working hard, Jim Jackson, on the offensive glass with a trip to the free throw line to go with it.
Well, sometimes when you're struggling to score, offensive rebounds, putbacks, these are the things that can get you going. And as a team, as this Michigan State team is continuing to grow, they don't have the inside presence that they're looking for. The guards and forwards engage on the offensive, defensive boards, because you never know. The easiest way to score sometimes is on easy baskets.
Yeah.
I learned that a long time ago.
I bet you did. I bet you did. Jim mentioned St. John Arena. Randy Ayers always find a way to get you the basketball on the blocks in time of duress.
You got that right. I had some great teammates, and that was a great thing about playing back then. My teammates were great. Great block by Summers.
And Darrell Summers just gave a facial to Bradley's Darian Norris. So Summers, offensive glass, and one at the other end, and now getting it done defensively.
Well, what Darrell was able to do was slide his feet, take away the angle, and then go up straight up without drawing any kind of body contact and block the shot. That's what you call moving your feet and now putting a hand up and blocking the shot.
Now Michigan State with the big advantage, second chance points. Raymar Morgan off the slash, and that's going to be an offensive foul. So Morgan just picked up his third, tried to put it on the deck and get to the rim. And again, now Tom Izzo telling Raymar, let it slow down.
Well, slow down a little bit. In the crease of a defense, understand when you're playing against a zone, the bottom man is going to rotate over. That's when you have to be smart enough to take that little 4 or 5 foot pull-up jump shot instead of going all the way to the basket. These are things that Raymar, as a scorer, has to learn.
Ask Tom Izzo today at shoot-around, do you challenge Raymar Morgan to continue to grow, continue to lead, and be better? And that's going to be an offensive foul on the push for going over the back. That's going on Taylor Brown of Bradley. And he said, again, yes. He told us, yeah, I do. I expect it of him. He needs to take his game to those kind of levels. As again, we look at Brown going over the back. But said, Tom Izzo I thought was gracious too, Jim, in saying it. But I also want to know when I need to pull back and not put too much on his plate, so he starts to think and become robotic and try to meet expectations levels that maybe aren't realistic.
Well, Mike, you've been around the game long enough to understand that no players, just like Tom Izzo. A player is special in a lot of instances when you're talking about being a scorer. You have to have that inside of you. I don't care if you miss 4 or 5 shots, you're coming back and taking that 6th shot. That's the kind of attitude you have to have if you're going to be a scorer in this league. What Tom is trying to impress upon is, Raymar, you have all the physical tools. We need you to consistently work hard and understand what and where we need you on the court and what we need you to do consistently. Once he learns that, he's going to be fine.
There's no question as we take a look at our officiating trio, Paul Jansen, Steve Olson, John Higgins, as they are looking at our replays. Let's look at Raymar Morgan right there, hold strong on that, what turned in to be the over-the-back call on Taylor Brown, the freshman of Bradley. Did they get Taylor Brown or did they get Chris Roberts? That's the thing. Or you know what they were looking at? Who was fouled, because it's now in the 1 in bonus, and it is going to be Draymond Green. They said it's Green, that Raymar Morgan, Draymond Green both there. And Taylor Brown went over the back of Draymond Green. So the freshman from Saginaw for the Spartans at the free throw line.
At the line for Michigan State, number 23, Draymond Green.
As we mentioned in the first half, think about what a healthy Goran Sutan after the first of the year when, and then he'll have a little rust on him. But again, that rugged rebounding presence that Tom Izzo has always had as a part of this dominance in the Big Ten, Jim, 7 Sweet 16s in the last 11 years. I mean, in the game today, as well as anybody, what Izzo and his program has done is ultra impressive.
Well, it's very impressive, and let's not forget, when you have a guy like Goran Sutan inside, that's going to clog up the middle, that allows you to extend your defense a lot more, knowing that if a guy drives to the basket, you have a plug in the middle that's going to take away easy baskets, and that's what they're missing right now.
Well, now on that kick out, that long-range 3 from Chris Roberts wouldn't fall, and Travis Walton and Michigan State want to push. Corey Lucius on the floor. Lucius, great pass, but Delvon Rowe not able to reverse it home.
Well, he didn't reverse. I don't think he had the explosion right there on that reverse layup. Again, that will come as he gets more and more playing time and he gets more and more comfortable with his knee.
That's Theron Wilson. That would have counted had it gone. And giving Wilson an opportunity for a 4-point play. As it is, he's going to go to the line and shoot it 3 times.
Well, what a coach always said, contest the shot, but do not foul a 3-point shooter. On this instance right here, put a hand up in the face, contest the shot. Please do not foul a 3-point shooter. And now they got a chance for, a 3-point play.
Jim, just to embellish our point, I mentioned 11 consecutive trips to the NCAA. You talk about 7 Sweet 16s in the last 11 years. 4 Final Fours in the last decade, of course, with that national championship in 2000 behind the Flintstones, Mateen Cleaves, and Morris Peterson and Charlie Bell. I mean, again, you're talking about the hierarchy, the upper echelon of college basketball now. There are those, some of the Dukes, the North Carolinas, the Kansases, etc., UCLAs don't have that impressive type of run that Tom Izzo's had in the last decade.
Well, they don't, but I still don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. Every time they talk about great college coaches or programs, the Dukes, the UCLAs, the Kansas come up, and they fail to mention in that same breath Michigan State and what they've done this decade.
Marquise Gray to rock that rim. Big fella said, I'm throwing this baby down strong.
Well, he's throwing it home. Great ball movement allowed Marquise Gray to be open. There was poor communication on Bradley's end as well.
Rip away and not a run out, and that pass from Darrell Summers does not allow Travis Walton to catch up to its 16th Michigan State turnover.
Well, again, ball movement inside, lack of communication on Bradley's part leads to a wide open dunk for Marquise Gray inside.
Now the 6'8", 235-pound strongman, Marquise Gray. Now Singh to set that high screen for Edwin McClain, who's on the floor now. That's Theron Wilson slashing his way to the goal and delivering.
Well, we talked earlier about the dribble handoff and communications, and right there, Michigan State did not do a great job of communicating on the dribble handoff, which led to an easy basket, once again, in the paint for Bradley.
Well, Jim and I were talking, if it's guard to guard, I mean, maybe you want to switch that, Jimmy?
No, you do. I think you do. I think you force the ball handler to make a decision on that switch and not give him an easy driving lane.
Well, Roberts just threw it away. He got caught up in the air underneath the rim and threw it away. So everybody exhale, take a deep breath. We're inside the 12-minute mark. Sparty like the fact that Michigan State's on a run out. Spartans by 10 on the Big Ten Network.
With unique hand grips to help stop spills, nothing gets in the way of a good time. Solo grips, cups, and plates. Only from Solo.
Log on to BigTenNetwork.com and register for the Big Ten Superfans program. Sign up and you can win tons of great prizes by watching the Big Ten Network. Show your passion. Become a Big Ten Superfan today.
Take an in-depth look at the Big Ten's brightest female athletes and coaches on the show designed to shine the spotlight on them.
We kind of have the same goal, to win that national championship.
The Big Ten Women's Show, only on the Big Ten Network.
College basketball on the Big Ten Network. Witness a full-court onslaught of excitement as the conference's best put their skills on display. Big Ten Men's College Hoops, tomorrow in high def on the Big Ten Network.
Wisconsin since 1996. Why not now? That's what he told his team at the start of the season. Said you never know what's going to happen.
Turnover. Here's Grant on the breakaway. Purdue the Badgers.
Expect Big Ten titles in the near future for this team from Purdue.
Delighted to have you a part of it inside the Breslin Center on the Big Ten Network. Michael Regai, former Ohio State Buckeye Jim Jackson. We've noticed there have been a lot more touches down at the blocks for the Michigan State bigs here in the second half.
Well, you need to establish yourself inside. You know, in the last play, we saw Marquise Gray getting a great opportunity inside to get an easy basket. But the game of basketball is about rhythm. So now they come back and have a great defensive play, but then turn the ball over. 17 turnovers by Michigan State is just too many inside Marquise Gray. Let's establish a rhythm right now. Go back down and play great defense, create an opportunity so we can score again. Great block by Darrell Summers. Now a little too anxious right here. Gets the ball up, takes it away. These are the kind of plays that you want to get away from if you're Michigan State.
Well, Marquise Gray now to get a respite on the bench of Tom Izzo. Back on the floor for Michigan State. Delvon Rowe along with Draymond Green on that front line. Kalen Lucas, Darrell Summers, Chris Allen. That three-guard look now for Tom Izzo.
Right. If you're Coach Izzo, too, you want to see this team kind of put this Bradley team away right now. If you see the foul. This is the time of game right now where Kalen Lucas has to get his guys together and say, listen, we haven't played great up to this point, but we need to put these guys away, because as Butler did against Cleveland State, and other teams
hang around.
You hang around, and this is a three-point shooting team. 2 or 3 three-pointers in a row, you got a different kind of game.
Thad Matta and the Ohio State Buckeyes will get ready for Butler. I believe that's right here in the Big Ten Network.
I got it. I'm covering that game
a little bit later on this week.
That's right. Some great games
well,
right
Thad
now.
Matta knows all about the Butler program, too.
Well,
Coach Matta was there and continued that run of NCAA prominence for them as Kalen Lucas at that free throw line. Lucas fell in the stat sheet, Jim. 6 points, 6 assists, 4 boards. Not shooting it particularly well, though, today from the floor.
Well, Mark Montgomery made a good point while we were talking pregame. He said Kalen Lucas right now is thinking about his shot, not confident right now, but these are the type of plays right here he can make to his teammates to try to get back into some kind of rhythm.
Lucas tried to give it up to Summers. Again, it's Draymond Green with strength, and he's got one more coming from the line for Draymond Green.
But it was all started by Kalen Lucas, the decision-making to get it up to his guard running down the court. But let's go back to Kalen. When you're pressing sometimes as a shooter and as a point guard, you tend to overthink and overcompensate. You drive too much. You're not making the plays and playing in the rhythm that you're used to. Non-conference will do that to you sometimes. So hopefully over the next 3 weeks, he can kind of work those kinks out and get ready for conference play.
You know that's the mindset of Tom Izzo.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, that's exactly, Jim Jackson just absolutely captured where Tom Izzo wants to go with his ball club.
Well, if you look at Tom, look at the schedule. Okay, at North Carolina, at Texas, at Kansas. He plays these teams for a reason.
Anywhere, anytime.
Anytime, to get a gauge on where his team is at in non-conference, but also say, great defense by Michigan State, that later on in the tournament, we played against these type of teams.
That's right. Draymond Green making an impact. Lucas off the jump stop. Delvon Rowe will rock that rim off the great look from Kalen Lucas.
And those are the type of plays that Kalen Lucas is capable of making consistently, and that's what Tom Izzo needs from the star point guard.
7th helper of the afternoon. 7th assist for Kalen Lucas as he found Delvon Rowe right underneath the rack. We mentioned what's coming up for Michigan State. Let's take a look at it here with Alcorn State and the Citadel. You'll see both of them on the Big Ten Network. Then in Houston against number 8 Texas. We'll go down and see Rick Barnes' ball club in the state of Texas.
Well, J.J. Abrams, a great shooter.
I like his game.
A great perimeter shooter is going to be a test for this Michigan State defense, especially from a guard standpoint. But then you look at Minnesota. Minnesota is going to be a tough place to play with Al Nolan, Westbrook in the backcourt.
Yeah.
Tubby Ball is back in Minnesota. It's an exciting time. So Michigan State has his work cut out for him over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Gopher fans absolutely love, and I talked to a few friends around Minneapolis, and you called it Tubby Ball. I mean, they really believe that they're going to pack the barn up in Minneapolis with that elevated floor, and we'll see how the visitors from around the Big Ten fare as we take a look at the individual numbers. Chris Allen, among those 13, has hit 3 threes today. But it's been Michigan State's toughness and will here in the second half that have really put a vice-like grip on Bradley on the defensive end.
Well, what I think they've done is extended the offense a little bit more, brought their defense out, not allowed as many penetrating drives that they did in the first half, but there's still some kinks in this Michigan State armor that they have to work on. And again, I'm going to go back to this. That's what non-conference play is about.
Sure, yeah.
To work out these little kinks, but you want to win these games and make sure you don't give them up as well.
No question about that. Jim Les knows that all full well with his Missouri Valley squad. And that Michigan State foul went on Delvon Rowe, so that's number 4 on the highly touted All-American out of the very fine St. Edward program.
You know, one of the biggest adjustments that a freshman has to make is defensively. Understanding place, where to be, how to communicate. And that's one of the things that Delvon Rowe will learn as he continues to get more minutes.
That's Chris Roberts flying around the hoop, and you got that putback of the Maniscalco miss. And Michigan State was on that big 14-3 run over the last 4.5 minutes. Before that Roberts bucket is now the Spartans look at this Bradley 2-3 zone. Allen from deep. Got it! Chris Allen has tripled for the 4th time today.
And there was a great play called by Tom Izzo, kind of a misdirection play where you hit Green up top for the pass, kind of ran off the off screen, had Allen run the baseline. While everybody was looking at the basketball, Green knew a great screen by Ibach right there to get Chris Allen open for the 3. A great and well-designed play by Michigan State.
Got 16 on the afternoon. Let's check in with Lisa Byington. Where was Tom Izzo going during that last timeout, Lisa?
Michael, one of his favorite phrases is be a contact seeker, not a contact avoider, and he's challenging his guys to do the dirty work. Get the cutouts, set the screens. Cutouts lead to rebounds, that lead to transition. Screens lead to open shots. He wants them to work down in the trenches.
I like that, contact seeker. And you know, Tom Izzo was telling Lisa Byington at shoot-around today that during her playing days at Northwestern that she was a contact seeker, so real strong on the defensive end of the floor.
You know, it's Big Ten basketball at its greatest, you know. Yeah. In Big Ten basketball, you're going to be physically on the defensive end, but offense, you're going to punish some people too as you go and attack the basket.
Jim, I want to ask you about, you know, we've seen this three-point line move back to a foot to 20 feet, 9 inches now. You know, I thought maybe it might help open up things a little bit more for, you know, the guys that like to operate on the blocks and in the paint with offensive game. You think it's accomplished that, or really that hasn't had that great deal of an effect as well?
I think it's all dependent upon the team. If you're a great three-point shooting team, that inch and a half means that now you have that much more room for driving lanes and gap. If you're not a great three-point shooting team, from an offensive standpoint, it doesn't open up too much more than it did before. But again, it's in favor of the team that can shoot the 3 to spread the offense more.
Lucas with that rainbow 3 that's right there. Kalen Lucas with that touch that was pure from deep.
And Kalen Lucas needed that shot more than anybody in this game tonight to know that he can still stroke that shot.
Dodie Dunson is going to go to the free throw line. Bodies all over the deck. And you see Draymond Green rather getting himself up, and that's Green, and that's number 4 on Draymond Green, his 4th personal foul. But he's been a factor here in the second half. Jim, Draymond, freshman, true freshman, not grown into his body as of yet, lost a lot of weight, but still, you know, with room to grow physically.
Well, you take a look at his body now. Wait till 1 or 2 years from now.
Junior, senior?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be looking like Sparty out here after a while. This is a program. But a little bit of concern, though, on this last play. Yes, Kalen Lucas made the 3, but Bradley was able to get the ball up and quick and draw a foul the other in the court. So that means there's a little lag time between the transition offense and defense for the Spartans.
Hope you're enjoying this one this afternoon, and you're staying warm. As we said, temperatures in the mid-teens here around the capital city of the Wolverine state of Michigan. Probably shouldn't say Wolverine state here in the land of the Spartans.
You might not get out of here.
It's Big Ten, though. I know. Everybody was talking around here about John Beilein's win over UCLA yesterday as Kalen Lucas found that little bit of seam and got to the rim, and Kalen Lucas will be at the free throw line. And while Kalen Lucas steps to the free throw line, let's take a look at today's Advance Auto Parts drive of the afternoon.
Well, right now, Raymar Morgan pushes the ball up. Travis Walton assists right over to Kalen Lucas. And I kind of think this is where Kalen kind of turned the corner a little bit. After this play, he began to penetrate more. start making plays. He made a layup inside, came back, hit a three-point shot. Now he went to the basket. He missed his free throw, but I see a little different spark, and that's how he has to continue to play, for the rest of this non-conference season.
Well, and didn't he make a major impact as he teamed with Drew Neitzel last year? Jimmy was 5th in the Big Ten in assists as a true freshman. What I love is the 6-to-1 assist-turnover ratio.
Well, as a point guard, the key is the first and foremost thing to do, take care of the basketball. Second, you set up your teammates, and Kalen did a great job of that last year.
Okay, to Lucas, and the Spartans of Michigan State have opened their lead up to 19. It's the largest of the day at Breslin.
First time I took 5-hour energy, I didn't feel bad afterwards. Usually you take energy drink and along the next 3 hours at some point, you just hit the wall. And I never hit that wall. It just was a natural energy that stuck with me for a while, 5 hours or so. One of my friends on the team, a guy I'm with a lot, he uses it and he likes it. He calls me, make sure I have 2 when I come in the morning because he always needs one. I say, well, go buy your own, but I'm kind of like the 5-hour designated driver. 5-hour energy, I use it, I love it.
Every week, relive the drama on the Big Ten's greatest games. It's all here. The legendary stars, the incredible slams, the amazing performances, and the unforgettable finishes. Catch all the great action, the Big Ten's greatest games, only on the Big Ten Network.
The stage is set for the biggest show on earth. This season, Barclays Premier League is coming right at you. Catch the epic showdowns.
Here we go!
Upsets.
It's stunning!
And world-class stars all season long.
It's a cracking finish!
The top teams. The top players.
Oh, yes!
Live the drama.
The race is still alive!
The Barclays Premier League all season long on FSC.
Saturday, 5 games take center stage on the Big Ten Network. First, the Buckeyes face a tough test when they host Butler. Then, Etuan Moore and the Boilermakers battle Indiana State. Manny Harris leads the Wolverines against Eastern Michigan. Raymar Morgan and the Spartans take on Alcorn State. And Marcus Landry and the Badgers throw down with Green Bay. It all starts with the Big Ten Tip-Off Show, Saturday in high def, only on the Big Ten Network.
Spartans of Michigan State have opened up this 19-point advantage inside the 8-minute mark, and this crowd was just sent into delirium a moment ago as Mark D'Antonio, along with some of his Spartan football standouts, Brian Horner, Javon Ringer, the most outstanding running backs in the country, and the captains, Justin Kershaw, informed this crowd where the bowl, the New Year's Day bowl appearance, is going to take the Spartans. Down to the state of Florida, Lisa Byington with Mark D'Antonio. Lisa.
Mark D'Antonio, Spartan fans have waited 9 long years for this announced Capital One Bowl against Georgia. How important is it to play in a New Year's Day bowl game for this bowl?
I think it's very, very important. It's the next step in this progression for us. It's something we've worked on very, very hard, and it's great for our football team. Our seniors have done an outstanding job, so we're very, very happy for them. But to play against Georgia in the national televised game with a lot of national, I think, implication as well. So we're looking forward to it.
When August began, how much did you think this could be a 9-3 football team?
Well, we just try and play them one at a time, and I think that's what we've tried to do here. Just continue to play one at a time, and there's no game that we go into thinking that we're going to lose. This game is such a confidence-driven game, and I think if we continue to just take one play at a time and push through it, we can accomplish great things.
All right, say hi to Mickey for me.
I'm sorry?
Say hi to Mickey for me.
I will. Thanks.
Thanks. Michael, back to you.
All right, Lisa, Mark D'Antonio, what a rousing ovation. Again, his tri-captains, Brian Hoyer, Javon Ringer, and Justin Kershaw just received. So number 17, Georgia, Mark Richt and the Bulldogs. But I guarantee, Jim, the Big Ten Network's going to be all over that with some bowl day specials following Mark D'Antonio and, of course, Jim Tressel and Joe Paterno to all of their bowl action.
Well, we talked about this, and I asked you the question, do you think it should be a playoff for college football? Because I think a team like Ball State, having a great season like they had, should be able to compete for a national championship.
And Kalen Lucas misfired on the 3, and of course then non-BCS conferences, Utah, Boise State. both of them with fabulous seasons as well.
You know, and I think it takes a little bit away from anybody can win a championship, like in college basketball. Gonzaga, Davidson can compete and ultimately win something like that. Why shouldn't it happen in college football?
Many people would echo those sentiments, partner.
Yeah, I'm not the smartest guy, but I understand a little bit.
Nor am I. Nor am I. I'm right there with you. Now this is Kalen Lucas to raise up. Edon Ebok kept it alive without the offensive glass. Austin Thornton with a putback. Well, Thornton usually likes things out on that perimeter, but he got it down inside where the big boys roam for the stick back.
Well, I like the move by Kalen Lucas, a 1-2 dribble pull-up, which allowed his big guys inside to get an offensive rebound. It was caused by the fact that he penetrated in, guy had to step out, and opens it up inside for offensive rebound, and that's what Kalen Lucas can bring to the table. Now, who's going to rebound? Offensively, the big guys inside like Thornton have an opportunity to score baskets like that and give this Michigan State team something that they're lacking right now.
All right, Tom Izzo has got Delvon Rowe and Raymar Morgan back as Collins misfired on the face-up jumper. Now, Michigan State has blown this open in the second half. They were up by just 5 at the break. And they've bumped that lead now up to 19, but the Spartans do turn it over.
Yeah, and they bumped this lead up, but I don't think it was the prettiest probably that Tom Izzo would like for his team. You win the game, you can always take something positive from it. But I guarantee you this, Tom Izzo is going to break down the film and point out every mistake that a Spartan team has made in order for them to understand that if we want to compete, these little unforced turnovers, quick shots, not blocking out, are going to kill us against a better team.
You know that attention to detail will always be there.
Always.
We mentioned Mark Montgomery and Dwayne Stevens and Mike Garland. Garland is back on the bench after he went for 3 years to Cleveland State, and now back with Tom Izzo. Assistant coaches, I mean, it's a lifeblood of a program like this, Jim. I mean, you're breaking down tape, individual work with players.
I tell you who else I think would be a great coach if he chooses to do so would be Mateen Cleaves to come back here. Oh!
And Roberts wanted to throw that down with some ferocity, and he got belted up around the rim.
Well, Roberts took his elevator up to about the 6th or 7th floor right there. But that's how you go aggressively to the basket, and that's great defense. You don't give up layups. Force him to go to the free throw line and make 2. It's not a dirty play, but it's hard defensive basketball that the Spartans are accustomed to.
It's number 5 on Delvon Rowe, so the young man who got the start here this afternoon. Delvon had been doing a solid job on the glass. 9 points and 11 boards against Wichita State earlier this year. Got in the starting lineup today, just 2 points this afternoon. And Delvon Rowe fouling out.
You know, with Delvon, I don't look at the points as far as what his production is on the court. I look at the little things, rebounding, boxing out, playing defense, things like that, about how his progression is coming along as a player, and the points will come later.
Tomorrow night, Monday evening, get ready for more Big Ten hoops as Bruce Weber, we said my partner's going there. Jim Jackson's going to take it out into Champaign as the Fighting Illini continue their early season success when they host the Warriors of Hawaii. Tip off 8 o'clock Eastern. Only one place right here on Big Ten Network. So what do you got? You got Hawaii at Illinois tomorrow night. Then you're going to go to Butler, Ohio State.
No, Minnesota. South Dakota.
And then Butler, Ohio State next weekend.
I got my work cut out for them. It's a great time right now. Some great teams get a chance to see Illinois up close and personal along with Minnesota. The Illinois team with Dimitri McCamey and Frazier playing well. It's going to be interesting. Then Tubby Ball.
Yeah, it's like it reminds me of one of those NBA road trips you're on. You better keep the bags packed.
I was in Chicago to here, but you know what? It's fun. It's enjoyable. The cities are close, and you get a chance to really get an up-close, intimate look at these teams and what they have to offer. Talk to the coaches, and take that back into our studio so we can really analyze our conference to the best of our abilities right when we're in the studio. And by the way, speaking of the studio, we got some great people back at the Big Ten Network doing a great job inside that sometimes probably don't get the credit. Our statisticians and everybody who put a lot of the games formatting together and content.
The research guys.
The research guys.
Make sure you prop them up.
That's right. They take care of our boy Chris, Jordan. Will, everybody back there.
Oh, I know they've got Jackson covered.
They make me look good. Trust me, I'm not that smart.
They make all of us look good as Theron Wilson is going to get a trip to the free throw line. You know, we were talking football a moment ago, and we want to make sure that you mark it down right now. Don't miss the Big Ten Bowl Special Selection Show coming up tonight. Find out where your team is going to be playing, plus all the experts break it down. Jerry DiNardo, Howard Griffith, I would imagine, will be in studio. Every Big Ten Bowl matchup is analyzed for you, 9 o'clock Eastern, only right here on the Big Ten Network. Theron Wilson at the free throw line. It's been a struggle for Bradley this afternoon at the stripe. They were in it until they have, and a lot of, obviously, Michigan State, as we said, defensively, has got very rugged here in the second half. But, you know, Bradley has had a very difficult time shooting the basketball or even, Jim, getting decent looks here in the second half.
Well, they have, and when you don't get the kind of looks you want, you got to convert on your free throws. That's where you got to make your money. At the end of the first half, they went on a little streak where they weren't making their free throws, where they kind of could have went into halftime with the lead. So when you're struggling offensively, you get a chance to go to that charity stripe, you got to knock them down.
Big Ten Network basketball has been brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. Make sure you keep the wheels turning. We're delighted you're with us inside the warmth of the Breslin Center, one of the most boisterous buildings in all of college basketball. With our producer Jim Ressler, director Mike Smith, Lisa Byington, Jim Jackson, I'm Michael Regai. And we told you we would find a way to warm you up, just like Santa Claus is having fun with those who wear the green and white this afternoon. Started your Christmas shopping yet? You going to take care of everybody?
Oh, well, that was a Christmas present right there from Kaylin Lucas to Marquise Gray.
He better get a Christmas present for Kaylin Lucas after that. As Dodie Dotson answers as he'll skate baseline for Bradley.
Well, I'm going to start my Christmas shopping while I'm out on the road right now and try to get the gifts early on. You know, right now it's a great time to get some specials, some sales going on for the family, you know.
Marquise Gray just took that special and brought it down real hard as Kaylin Lucas not able to dial up that three.
Well, I like that he took the shot and he didn't hesitate on the shot. You'll make that shot sooner, eventually, but you got to have confidence to shoot it. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, Bradley will come back on the offensive end and connect on Taylor Brown's baseline jumper. Well, we're at the top of the hour here in the Eastern time zone. The 6 o'clock hour inside the Breslin Event Center. Jim Jackson, Lisa Byington, I'm Michael Regai. As Michigan State has exploded here in the second half. Spartans were up but 5 at the break, and they're going to look to go to 5-2 now and bounce back after that 35-point setback at Ford Field the other night. The #1 ranked North Carolina Tar Heels kind of set some shockwaves around college basketball as bodies all over the deck, and the alternate possession arrow says we'll go with Bradley. Now Saturday, 5 games take center stage in the Big Ten Network. Jim Jackson will be in the Schottenstein Center when Ohio State faces Butler, and the Purdue Boilermakers, Robbie Hummel and Etuan Morrow tango with Indiana State. Manny Harris, Michigan against Eastern Michigan. The Michigan State Ball Club will tangle with Alcorn State, and Bo Ryan and Wisconsin tangling with Wisconsin Green Bay. So all of that Saturday, 5 for your pre-holiday treat.
Great day of college basketball. You know, and you know, right now at the end of the game, you're up at under 5 minutes. You're up, you know, double-digit points. This is an important time for this team because this is where you want your execution to be precise. This is where you want your concentration to be there, because you never want to be able to give up the momentum or lead in the game, because it can come back and haunt you. And people say, well, it's garbage time. Well, it's really not if you're trying to prepare to win basketball games. This is what Bo Ryan does better, I think, than anybody. His team stay focused all the way through the game.
Well, see, speaking of Jimmy's right, staying focused, Theron Wilson just dropped down that long-range three, and you see Tom Izzo counseling a little bit as this lead has now shrunk down to just 12.
Well, every aspect of the game is a learning experience, even when you're up double-digit points, because if you start to get sloppy in this type of game, you're going to play a team where you think you have the game, you get sloppy, and next thing you know, you're down and you lost the game because you lost your focus. And that's something that great college coaches preach. Do not lose your focus no matter what the score is.
Well, we've talked quite a bit about all the basketball family lineage of Michigan State. Bradley with Jim Les, but we talk about those with microphones and excellent in the world of TV and radio play-by-play. Jack Brickhouse, the legendary Chicago Cubs, Chick Hearn. Late Chick Hearn. Jello's jiggling.
That's
Jimmy,
right.
Remember, right? Ralph Lawler, who still
the bus.
The LA Clippers, of course. Charlie Steiner, a Bradley graduate, calls the Los Angeles Dodgers with Vin Scully. So Bradley, very
well represented.
Very notable for their gifts to the world of play-by-play broadcasting. Walton gave it up. Trying to save now is Darrell Summers, and Michigan State will turn it over on that backcourt violation. All right, inside the 4-minute mark, let's get our final timeout of the afternoon. The Spartans lead it by a dozen. Come on back and finish it up on the Big Ten Network.
Welcome to Progressive.com. Ah, I see you have a list.
So I only pay for the features that I need.
So let's customize your policy.
It's me.
Now just add or subtract what you need.
I want lots of coverage, a little less, a low deductible, and roadside assistance. That was easy.
Your satisfaction is our policy. It's a little insurance joke. Really little. There it goes.
Getting the policy and the price you want. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Hi, welcome to Progressive.com. How can I help you?
Well, I haven't shopped for car insurance in a while.
And you're worried that you've been paying too much, right?
Yeah. So how can I know I'm getting a good deal?
We can compare your Progressive Direct rate with other top companies.
Wow. Seriously?
Yeah. Look at the deal we just got him.
That's a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, or a big tricked out name tag.
Making sure you get a great deal. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Made from fresh tomatoes living happily together with spicy green chilies. The bold flavor of Rotel gives your queso a kick. Spice things up with Rotel.
Tonight, don't miss the Big Ten Tonight Bowl Selection Special. Find out when and where your team will be playing. Plus, our experts break down every Big Ten Bowl matchup. Tonight, only on the Big Ten Network. Stay connected all the time with Big Ten Network podcasts. Get exclusive access to the entire conference with a unique podcast devoted to all 11 universities. And with fresh daily and weekly updates, there's always something new. Download today at BigTenNetwork.com or through iTunes.
They desire greatness, demand respect, define success, and let true passion shine through. This is Big Ten Women's Basketball in HD, only on the Big Ten Network.
Michigan State's lead that was 21 has been cut down to a dozen now as Bradley's run has now extended to 9-zip, and that caused Tom Izzo to gather his Spartans, Jim Jackson, and say, fellas, we need to finish strong.
Oh, yeah, and that's the sign of a good coach. Understanding, yes, we're winning the game, but the little things we're not doing well late in this game, we're losing our focus. Let's get focused. Finish this game the right way so now we can go on and take care of our business for the next one.
So many coaches, you hear them discussing that all the time. Play the game the right way. Value the game, respect the game, and play it like it was meant to be played as Bradley comes out of that timeout and throw the basketball away. Kalen Lucas with Darrell Summers, Travis Walton, Chris Allen, and Draymond Green. That short jumper from Walton didn't fall.
Yeah, and that's kind of tough right there for Walton because they're going to give him the ball in situations or positions he's not used to having and having to score in. And that shot and the last turnover he had was just because he wasn't comfortable in that forward position right there in the middle of the lane.
Off that Chris Roberts, Miss Bradley three. Michigan State will come to the offensive end, put it in the hands of the orchestrator. Kalen Lucas, 8 assists this afternoon. A young man that, right there atop those that deal it out. As stroking that three is Darrell Summers, had a real good look, and he laced it from in front of Tom Izzo.
Yeah, he did. A great pass by Travis Walton. Now, I must say this. We're sitting behind this fan section here, and one person in particular, Kyle, here, wants to send a shout out to my boy Timmy Doyle. Said he loves your hair, Timmy. So I know you're in studio right now. And right behind us, where Kyle left, he left. He's got finals this week, I guess. But he said, tell my boy Timmy Doyle he loves him and he loves the hair. He said he's a beast. So Timmy Doyle, you got fans right here. That's right.
Good stuff. Good stuff. That shows you how if you put him in the zone, you better pay attention.
That's right. They pay attention to everything.
Not only Michigan State basketball, but Big Ten hoops.
That's right.
Yeah. Now we're inside 90 seconds left now. The Spartans by 15, so they're going to go to 5-2 on the year. As Allen will unload and stick that three. That's 5 trays on the day for sweet shooting Chris Allen.
Yeah, Chris is like, hey, when Travis penetrates and you want to suck in, just kick it out now. Get you that assist you're looking for.
Allen's got 19. He's delivered 5 of 9 from long distance. Kalen Lucas with his very strong 12 rebound, 9 assists, 12 point, 9 assists, 6 rebound performance. Michigan State shooting it from deep well today, Jim. Just under 50%, 9 and 19 from 3.
Well, you want to do that. That extends the defense, allows you to have penetrating passes. It keeps a focus on your shooters. You need, in college basketball, you need to have a consistent three-point shooter on your team if you're talking about a dribble drive opportunity that can present itself later in the game.
Well, Kalen Lucas got swallowed up as he turned the corner. Not going glass off that glide to the rim for Butler. Bradley. Jim, you talked to me about Butler.
It was such an exciting game you had against Michigan State.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still fresh in your mind.
Yeah, Taylor Brown with that sweet move for Jim Lesson Bradley. And Tom Izzo says, let's back it out. Shot clock is off. So Michigan State rebounds from a 35-point loss to North Carolina and comes up with this Sunday afternoon win for Tom Izzo. It is now in the books at the Breslin Center as Tom Izzo and Jim Les congratulate one another. A 75-59 Michigan State Spartan win. So that's going to do it from the Breslin Center at East Lansing. Coming in next, Big Ten Wrestling, Iowa State and Iowa. Michigan State a 79-59 winner. For Lisa Byington, Jim Jackson, and all of our Big Ten Network crew, I'm Michael Ruggei. Hope you enjoyed it, everybody. So long.
Watch that referee's hand. Watch that. He did it! And it's Iowa State! Look at that crowd! Holy mackerel!
In college wrestling, Iowa State versus Iowa has a storied history of upsets, emotions, and incredible wrestling. This year's edition will be no exception as the number 2 ranked Iowa State Cyclones take on the number 1 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes next on College Wrestling. From Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, Iowa, it's a classic intrastate showdown between the Iowa State Cyclones and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Hello everyone, I'm Tim Johnson and welcome to our season debut of college wrestling. It's my pleasure to welcome my broadcast partners. Only a handful have ever done what these two have done. That's win NCAA titles as wrestlers and coaches. Dan Gable, 2-time NCAA champion at Iowa State, 15 national championships won as a coach at Iowa, and Hall of Famer Jim Gibbons. He won both his national championships at Iowa State as a wrestler and as a coach. Welcome, guys. The stage is set. Look at the rankings. Number 1 versus number 2. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. And so let's start out with that Iowa leads the series 55-16, but anything can happen. So let's start with the number 2 ranked Iowa State Cyclones and their coach, Cale Sanderson. He was 159-0 and a 4-time NCAA champion. Does it get any better than that, Dan?
Well, it doesn't as an athlete, but he's a coach. And he wants to take that record and forget about it and wants to build a new record. So that's why he's here. And he's got a strong team here, and he wants to build a legacy in coaching as well.
Well, his team, 6 returning All-Americans, Jim.
6 returning All-Americans and a lot of youth here. You've got 5 of those guys are juniors and 1 sophomore. So he's got the talent to make a mark this year.
Talk about making a mark. The Iowa head coach, Tom Brands, 3-time NCAA champion, Olympic champion, world champion. Let's talk about Tom Brands.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's building a culture here at Iowa, bringing back winning ways here after 8 years. National champion coach, national coach of the year here. And he's all about focus and intensity. And he's got the type of talent that really buys into that.
Well, I know the Iowa Hawkeye fans love to hear this, but the Iowa Hawkeyes are the defending national champions, 6 returning All-Americans.
Well, we're in Carver Hawkeye, and they're filled the arena, and they're trying to break the record. So, they have a lot to be proud of, but they also going to have a tough match here tonight. So they got Charlie Falk, they got Alex Surtzis, they got Joey Slayton, Jay Borschel, Phil Ketty. They're all, returning All-Americans. So they're led by Brent Metcalf. So, those guys follow Brands around, and they're still here.
Every time we get together with Iowa and Iowa State, there's some kind of surprise. It's a history of upsets. What do you think about it tonight, Jim?
Well, you saw that in the Open, all the surprises and the falls, and we really don't know for sure, but I tell you what, it looks like a great one. This is the most competitive and the most difficult environment to compete in any sport, and now you got 16,000 screaming Iowa fans, and Iowa State comes in here with a very talented team. Tell you what, this whole environment makes you be proud to be part of this wrestling tradition and in Iowa.
Dan Gable, I'll give you the last word. What about tonight?
Well, I think it's going to come down to a lot of things. And the bottom line is that all the experts have it very close. And the only way it wouldn't be very close if somebody won all the close ones. So, and I don't think that's going to happen here, but it could. So right now, I'm telling you, it's hard to predict.
Well, we're not going to predict, but we're going to show you the lineups right now. And the lineups, we're going to start at 125 tonight. 125 pounds between Charlie Falk, returning All-American, upstart Tyler Clark, 2 All-Americans, Fanthorpe for Iowa State versus Slayton, or Daniel Dennis, we don't know who yet. 141, Gallick versus Surtzis. 149, Mueller versus Metcalf. 157, Kyler Sanderson, Cale's brother versus Matt Ballweg. And then at 165, up a weight class from last year, Ryan Morningstar for Iowa versus John Reeder. 174, Jay Borschel, returning All-American, up against Duke Burke. Philip Ketty, 184-pounder for Iowa versus Jerome Ward at 197. Jake Varner up from 184, where he's twice been a national runner-up, versus 1 of 3, Lofthouse, Beatty, or Laura. And then at 285 heavyweight, we've got Zabriskie from Iowa State versus Dan Erickson.
And what's great to see about that is all those ranked numbers behind both those names. I mean, you take a look at these 2 teams by historical standards. I mean, it's as good as it gets.
It's as good as it gets, and history is going to be made, hopefully. But if it's not, one of those things that's close.
Well, talk to us about the history that's already been made tonight here with the crowd.
Well, we don't know yet. We think that's what one of the history is. The state above us has that record, and we have to sell a couple more tickets, and we'll find out a little later, but we're close. We have standing room only, and I see standing room only people, so looks good.
And what we're talking about is the all-time world record for college wrestling dual meet. Minnesota has the record, 15,695, something like that.
Yeah.
And the fire marshals have opened it up and said, you can put 16,000 in here if you can put 16,000, and I'd say we're within a few. And so history in the making, and it's very appropriate with Iowa State.
Captains
are out there, yeah.
The meeting at the center of the mat. Of course, Iowa State has a new look here this year with the cardinal and gold uniforms.
Looks like kind of what they've done in football with Iowa. It looks like a blackout tonight. A lot of black T-shirts.
Right, and they got some flags. Little rags they're going to throw around. And they're starting out at 125, that's right?
Starting out at 125, it'll be All-American Charlie Falk going against Tyler Clark. The referee is Mike Haggerty from Blue Springs, Missouri. a wrestling coach and a longtime official, one of the best in the nation.
Tyler Clark, a sophomore, already ranked 5th in the country. Undefeated on the year. Charlie Falk going into his last campaign and finished 6th last year. What a tough weight class that was at 125 last year, and particularly in the Big Ten.
Well, Falk, he just has come along so well, I think. He started as a true freshman, and you just saw him gain strength. A redshirt year helped him. And Tyler Clark is kind of where Falk was a couple of years ago, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would really say that, because maybe learning how to become a disciplined wrestler out there. I think that's what Falk has done, is got more aggressive, more controlled. Very close to beating Angel Escobedo in the, I believe it was the quarters or the semis. Really close match, and
Escobedo ended up being the national champ too.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was up, and he got bear hugged inside trip there for 4, and looked like he was going to win the match.
Really, he was controlling it, and so he's just a matter of seconds of being away from an NCAA finalist and end up finishing 6th. So this is a big test for Clark.
Neither wrestler are really opening up yet. They're feeling each other out a little bit.
Yeah, but if you see the setups there, I mean, I really think that Falk, who likes to go to that single leg shot right there, and that's the shot that Clark, or the leg that Clark leads. So it looks like nice job of pulling off. Now bear hug situation. This is deep.
No back points though. Tyler Clark did a great job of coming off his back.
Yes, he did.
I mean, there was not even a count. Even though he was thrown to his back, he got off it in a hurry.
And that's what makes Falk so dangerous. He came in on that single leg and looked like Clark was all but out, squared his hips, but his hips were a little bit too close, and with those long arms of his, he was able to show his range and suck that in and get the takedown.
And that takedown's worth 2 points. It's 2-0 for Falk, and I would say, wouldn't you, that that's the difference between Charlie Falk 3 years ago. He couldn't have done that. Didn't have the strength.
I don't think so. You're right. Because, that wasn't easy. Clark looks like he's muscled up a little bit, and he did a pretty good job of stopping that for a while.
Just stayed with it. Nice job of bouncing off and just limiting that to a takedown here, but beautiful technique by Falk.
Tyler Clark is a sophomore from Davenport, Iowa, went to Bettendorf High School. Charlie Falk, a senior from Strawberry Point, Iowa, but he did his prep wrestling at Apple Valley, Minnesota, where he was a 4-time state champion.
I think this is where Falk, being the senior here, wants to stay in the top position here as long as possible.
Clark's not moving too much. He's just kind of basing out, so it's it makes it easy to ride somebody that way, but it makes it hard to look like you're doing anything.
And when you say basing out, you see how wide his knees are away from his hips. His wide base, working up. Falk's not going to let him go easily here, so Clark really has to work. Nice job there. Now he's back in on a shot of his own.
We're neutral, guys. We're neutral. Wrestle it.
Kind of muscle in the leg there instead of driving and penetrating. He's using his arms too much, and you got to extend it. Falk's using a good hip leverage.
Exactly correct here. He got in there and got his shoelaces flat and lost his drive.
That was 1 point for Tyler Clark for an escape there. So the score is 2-1 in favor of Charlie Falk with 15 seconds left in the first period. But Falk does have 1:04 riding time.
Yep, clearly a stalemate situation, but being down there underneath there on that leg shot for a while, that's an advantage Falk here, making Clark work. Clark has really had to work hard, not only to get off of his back there on that takedown, but also to get out. He really used a lot of energy there.
Right, he looked like he just needed a little more penetration because he was in on the leg good, but he just kind of stopped and hung on, dropped down to his knees.
Hey, stay here.
Falk gets a choice, and he chooses down. There's no deferring about it. Charlie Falk says, I want to go under, and I want to score some points.
Well, I tell you, this is a real important 10 or 15 seconds here for either side to see if they can establish some kind of dominance in the match one way or the other.
Already 1:04 riding time here for Falk, so it looks like Clark will be able to break that for Iowa State. Coming back in on the leg here. Real scramble situation. This is where Falk...
He's still riding, but it's going to be tough to break that grip.
It's tough to break the grip, but you're really making Clark underneath work hard. Okay, he's got his elbows up above his head, and he's really working hard. And look at the great job that Falk is doing, keeping his hips low and his chest up. That's really making Clark work hard.
He's going to have a hard time breaking that grip. He's getting riding time, so it's erasing that riding time, and it's really a tough situation.
stalemate. Same way.
Actually, if fatigue isn't a factor, that helped him.
Same way.
Right now, fatigue doesn't look like a factor in this match.
We're doing a good job on the starts. Let's keep it that way. Lock down, green. No movement. Set in tight. Red at you.
Clark starting on the right-hand side here. Now he's trying to work the leg in.
He's got both legs in.
Key here, he's going to try to keep his arms underneath Falk's armpits right there and stretch him out.
Depends whether Falk can reach down and grab a leg, which I don't think he's getting.
No, he's got to create some hip separation here. He's fighting it off, grabbing the instep.
He's got to limp him a little bit to one side or the other. He's getting his head.
Yep.
He's getting high there. Oh.
Comes right back in. And this time he's not able to lock his hands.
They're still getting the riding time, though, guys. Still getting the riding time. And he's going to end up trying to get a stalemate, see?
Yes, he's got it. Looks like he's got that leg, but Clark has to continue to move up.
I just don't understand that. I mean, when you look back, I do not understand why that wasn't 1 point. Now I do, but that's not the situation it was. So
they're still working on it here.
They're still getting the riding time to all that. I'll tell you what, he either should break it or...
Referee is really slow on the stalemates here.
He was slow on that call.
He's almost going to get 2 here. There's 2 right there. Wow. I'll tell you what, that was a tight situation.
Yeah, I did not think that was correctly called, but it was just a slow call there because...
Well, whether it was or wasn't, it was a tough call. It was definitely a tough call.
Yeah.
Red, take down.
As a result, though, he's able to go ahead and finish the period, Falk, with a reversal. And in big matches, Dan, you got to, you finish the period on top, you're usually going to be all right.
Riding time's not a factor right now, except for Iowa State. He's got 31 seconds now on the other side, even though he's down 4-1. So it could be a factor if he could escape and get a takedown.
4-1 in favor of Charlie Falk. Starting the 3rd period, there's no riding time advantage for either wrestler. Tremendous ride by Tyler Clark in that 2nd period, but right at the end, Charlie Falk was able to get out and score a reversal.
Well, that's the most difficult thing to do in the sport, is to be able to get out from a good leg wrestler's legs, and it looks like those legs were in pretty tight, and Falk did a nice job of just methodically being patient, creating some hip separation and getting the reversal.
Well, he's smart here, getting this riding time to a situation where if he does escape, the bottom line, he gets taken down, he can't get the minute riding time. So,
that's it. Work it in. We've got plenty of room. A lot of room.
Clark has really shown no...
On the bottom, he has not exploded.
When you bury your head like that and bring your hips up like that, you're really not putting any back pressure into the man, and really pretty easy to follow and drift with your opponent.
Hands up. Ready.
Again, the way that, you take it, sitting in the corner here, you're taking a nod of how the officials call the match, and these are very slow stalemate situations, which means the riding time is going to extend a little bit further.
Charlie Falk from Iowa coming on top, the favorite. These returning All-American, the higher-ranked wrestler, ahead 4-1 here with 1:06 left in the 3rd period.
I don't know if we mentioned the referees yet, but they're both highly ranked, and there's a new system for picking Big 12 and Big 10 referees this year, and I think it's Charlie Yagla is in charge of that.
Great.
Charlie
and, so he's probably...
Mike Haggerty is one of the great referees in the nation, and Gary Mayab from the same area, Kansas City area. Both of them from the Kansas City area, and they do a lot of officiating. Very good officials.
And of course, this is much like you'd see at a national wrestling tournament where you have 2 officials refereeing a match. Side judge and a lead official.
The lead official is, just as you said, the lead official. What he says goes.
Look at that. Look at that. He's got a chance.
4-2. That's an escape for Tyler Clark. It's 4-2. There is no riding time. A takedown would tie the match.
Well, Clark was able to get in a shot, but nice job again by Falk, getting his hips back.
There is no warnings for stalling.
He's in on the leg again. He's able to step and drive through.
He's in tight. He's in tight.
Notice how he went to his own elbow there instead of continuing to drive through. Doesn't look like he's going to get it, though.
Yeah, it's close. There's only about 3 seconds to go.
Good start. Good start to this match. Tough match. Both wrestlers wrestling hard there all the way to the end.
Falk wins 4-2. Makes the score Iowa 3, Iowa State 0.
Who's coming out for the Hawks? We know who's coming out for the Cyclones. We don't know who's coming out for the Hawks.
Either be Joe Slayton, the NCAA runner-up last year, or
I don't know what Brands is.
Daniel Dennis.
Is it Dennis? I don't know.
Either or. Those are the two fellows that weighed in.